by the pricking of my thumbs, something wicked this way comes, my friends. Hello, and welcome to our weekly 6 p.m. D&D Improv Comedy extravaganza set in a Gothic Horror setting, where we are dickheads for 2 hours. I would like to throw it over to Quinn, though, my friends, for a very special announcement.
Oh, yes. And I am being handed a piece of paper right now, and it says on it that apparently there's a birthday today for someone. We don't know who, but it's someone's birthday. Are they in the cast? Are they not in the cast? Maybe, but they're special. So we're gonna sing happy birthday.
Hell yeah.
And a 1, and a 2, and a 3.
Happy birthday
to you.
Happy
So
birthday to
you.
Happy
birthday,
random
person.
Rando.
Happy
birthday to you.
Hey!
Very good at singing. We're
It's hard to
exceedingly good
lag.
at this.
Rooftop called it before that we went live, and he was right. It's hard to lag to get it all in sync.
Oh, it's impossible to sing on Zoom. I mean,
It's
it's
okay,
impossible
it's
to
fine
sing on
anyway.
the internet.
I've done Zoom karaoke. It's not good.
Wow.
It's
Yeah, I
always
bet.
a little glitchy and weird.
So happy birthday to you, our special person. And I'm going to throw it right over to the lovely Casty Thorne for our weekly Cassie Cap. What the hell happened last week, Casty?
Well, I have a note from actually the week before that just says, with exclamation points, underlines, and arrows, dragon orgy. Apparently, there was a successful orgy of dragons and characters. So that was something. Yes, successful. Last week I learned that I could make hero dolls of myself and sell them to children to influence them. So that sounds wonderful. I had a nice little meeting with a wonderful old man. His name escapes me because if I open it up, my face will disappear. Fellini Collini is what I keep calling him. I know that's not his name though. He's going to make me smart, which is nice. Ooh, also, he has a friend called Crow. The Crow is friends with Maggie. They had like a whole tearful thing going on, and Fellini Collini and I sat quietly and ate our dinners. Pretty sure the God King and the Emperor, the Kaiser killed a god, and they're each a half a god or something, and everyone was like, oh, this is so bad, but I kind of didn't think so, because it sounds balanced to me, so I don't know even what's going on anymore. We're still at this party. We are almost done day 2 of 7. Spoiler alert, we're not going to get through day 3 tonight. Woohoo! Or are we? I don't know. You have to watch. Goodbye.
Thank you so much, Casty.
It's been an eventful 2 days.
It has been a very eventful 2 days. You folks are on the evening of night 2, just about to head for after dinner to this performance being put on by Sassafras in the theater. It seems to be a very laid back evening with nothing major on the docket aside from this one performance. And a variety of you folks have been wining and dining with folks of note. Fedini Lacarzone, the last trade prince, Casty was chumming with. His bodyguard / errand person, Crow, has a past with good old Tizzy. The Prince Jazar of Lethod, the heir to the crown sultanate of Lethod, was having a little chat with Mikey. And Lyodin has somebody's room number already. And Val and Callista just went about banging everybody. So
Not everybody.
Only the dragons.
I sent her note.
The Fae in
ball's
attendance.
in her court.
So records have been set, is all I'm saying. Good luck breaking them. That is a challenge.
It's been spicy.
It only gets spicier from here.
What would you folks like to do on evening number 2 of 7? Well, of 6.
We're at the 12 to 6 dinner preparation time right now. Is that where we are?
You've been having a chat in Casty's room for the last little while.
Well,
Some people have been tinkering.
I don't even realize
to the concert.
What do you guys? I don't even know what everyone's been up to. It sounds like everyone's coming and going, but we haven't actually sat and said like, "Hey, here's what I've been up to." Who wants some juicy gossip? I've got some.
I was present for this gossip, but I do not remember any of it.
That's fair. So Jean Hostagar, who's like the admiral of the Navy, the head of the Navy, and Susie, her wife, are not staying in the same place right now because they're not getting along. And Susie was like, "Oh, Cassidy, what do I do?" And I was like, "What?" And then Jean was like, "Oh, Cassidy, what do I do?" I was like, "What?" They want some help with their relationship. All I really did was ask them questions. I don't know if I helped or hindered. I'm also not supposed to tell anybody. So pretend right now that I am just putting on a performance about friends that I have made up that happen to have shocking similarities to real life people.
John and Susan.
Oh no, Jean and Susie. Those are my characters' names in my book. I have an affinity for those names.
I like this book that you are writing. Do you think your friends will mind, though, that you have named characters in your book after them?
We could ask them.
Also, I'm excited to read your book. How far are you in it?
I'm gonna like reach in and like there's a bunch of I just keep pulling out journals because I'm constantly scribbling in journals. You know, I'm still in the research phase. Lots and lots of information.
How high do these stack?
Yeah, it's important to have an outline before you actually start writing.
Do
Yeah.
you want me to help?
What?
I mean, if you want to, it's sort of strange. Susie is upset that Jean is off doing military stuff and saving the world, and Jean is upset that Susie's upset because Susie doesn't understand that Jean's off saving the world. And I kind of just asked Jean. I said, "Well, if it like, are you what's more important? Are you doing this for Susie or doing it for everyone?" And I think that's what I said. I don't always pay attention to what I say when I'm saying it, and then I remember it how I feel like it happened. So there's that.
I wonder if their problems would be more quickly solved if they spoke to each other directly instead of through you.
Probably.
It's usually the way it works.
Well, I don't know why they don't want to talk to you. The first time we met Jean, bringing a way old backaroo, I think she called me a beast or a awful creature or something. I don't know. Yeah, come on, Jean.
You ran into the favored four bullshit real quick, Casty, unfortunately.
And I told them to fuck right off real quick, fortunately. And they were like, "Whoa, okay." I was like, "Yeah, fucking racist."
Well, I agree that getting them to talk to each other is probably a good idea, but it sounds like they might need a nudge and maybe some like halfway decent advice.
We could like we could just invite them both to the same place and be like, "Whoa,
No,
Parent trap them? Oh god.
Oh, and
Laura Bailey did it. You can't.
Probably-
It's like-
I can cast Zone of Truth. And
Why don't I
Yes.
try talking to Jean first and we'll go from there?
Okay."
That seems very logical.
The the last trade prints of places.
Dini La Carzone.
We'll get it. It's in my book. Fratini La Carzone, the last trade prince, who's in room 115. I had a really good chat with him. He's kind of chill. He's a pretty nice guy, I think. He's probably not. I mean, we talked about trading things and getting stuff and how money is just silly and you don't need it. And we didn't make any promises, but I sort of asked him for some help finding some magic items that I'm looking for. And he was like, "Yeah, okay." And then he was like, "Hey, if you need something to like, I don't know, that like you want to meet the Kaiser, I can do that." And I'm like, "All right, come down, the Deans, we're cool." But yeah, he's all right. I still need to talk with Brimora if she's here somewhere.
Oh, I wouldn't mind being in on that discussion. I have a few things I need to ask her as well.
Perfect.
She's been keeping a low profile throughout this thing, you've noticed. She's been here, but definitely neutral.
maybe I should not be part of this conversation.
Don't you just, since we're all talking, well, since I'm talking and at you all, what's up with you though? Because I know when like we met, you're like, "I'm here for you." And I was like, "But of course you are." But then I thought about it and was like, "What?"
Yes.
That certainly clarifies things.
Yes.
Like,
So
but like of your own accord or like It's a lifelong dream of yours
Well,
to bask in my
you're-
glory,
You're
or
pretty high up in the echelons of the Church of Montanus, right? Because you, unlike a lot of others, you have an item that was gifted to you by the god himself.
I wouldn't, I'd say that that is less so about my status and more about making sure that I can do my job.
Still, it seemed like it was a pretty unusual thing for one of the paladins to have an actual item granted by Montanus himself.
I suppose so. He doesn't often interfere, but again, I couldn't do my job without this.
so. If you're comfortable with sharing, I could give you something in return for the information. What? Why? Who sent you to look at, find me and follow me around?
Yes, the
I've already
church.
got it. Like, is the church a person? I don't understand. Like the church.
Like, yes.
So what's like? Is it like a building with legs, like Bubba's hut, or
No. Like the church as a collective body.
so like everyone got in a room and was like, "Go find Cassidy!" Whoa!
Somewhat. If my
Yeah.
understanding of how the church works is correct, their upper priests are the ones who make what the church says, and then the church says it.
Weird.
Yes.
Casty, you were not there when they visited the church in
No.
Winter's Crest, correct?
Mhm.
Sorry, when Lyden did?
Yes.
No, I've been to the church in Winter's Crest.
Yeah, I think that trip was just
Grifters.
Mikey and Lyden.
Tizzy.
Oh, and Tizzy.
Tizzy
Yeah.
was hiding, yes.
Tizzy was
That's
hiding in my
one of our
cloak.
one of our highlight reels, I believe,
Yes.
is Tizzy hiding in Mikey for a good 30 minutes.
No, I was not there for that one. Huh. So who delivered that? Like, okay, so the church makes a decision
Yes.
and you just hear it. Like if they make a decision right now, will you be like, "You got it, friends," and you just know? Is it like a hive
Oh,
mind? Is it
no. We send messages just like other people do. So
Like-
this one that I received was on paper,
Mhm.
like how we sent that message to that woman in the other room. It was like that, but a little more formal.
So did you just say like hang out with Cassidy?
No, they sent me a note that
Yeah.
said, "Hey, go check out Cassidy."
That's it?
Yes.
And you're like, okay,
Yes.
a little strange.
Yes. They were concerned, since you are a being from a different realm, that you might perhaps prove a threat.
Am I? And do I?
So far, I do not think so.
Mhm. I'm a citizen of Ghastheim.
And I have
That's no
communicated
way.
this to the church.
No way to treat a citizen and hero of the land.
Would you
Hmm.
ever go back to the Feywilds, Cassidy? Or is there something that you're doing here?
I think there's something that all of us are doing at all times, and there's places we need to be when we're there when we need to, and then we're not when we're not.
Are you working for somebody here other than the Briarwood Brave and the military?
No,
I didn't even think to ask these questions.
That was a very long pause.
I had to very carefully consider my answer.
That's true. Well, that was one question. I guess it's your turn now.
My turn to ask a question. Oh man. Oh, actually, so this is weird. I've been working on some new music, and because I don't know how it works. Well, I feel like for Lyodin, it's like, "Hey, eyeball, hook it up," and he's like, "Sure, you can shoot lightning now." I don't understand what you do, Mikey. You're like, "Well, if this
Oh,
gear
it's.
moves up and that gravity moves
if you want
down, then I can
a
fly."
longer explanation, there's a lot of technical aspects that go into it, and I could tell you about like harmonic resonances, arcane energies, and some of the material costs. But I imagine by the glazed look in your eyes right now that you probably don't want me to go into that detail.
Do you
Suffice it
think
to say that I don't work magic, but I use the ingredients that are available in the material plane to do something that seems like magic.
Do you think I could actually shoot lightning?
I don't know. Have you tried?
I haven't. I try to
Oh,
shoot
percentile
lightning.
dice, please.
Mikey steps out of the way.
Roll those sweet, sweet percentile dice.
What is that? It's a 86.
Nothing happens.
Currently, I cannot shoot lightning.
Well, not with that attitude. Maybe sometime though.
Maybe some. I will perhaps.
Maybe you
ask
can just like
mechanics
grab
about
somebody
Keep trying.
and zap them.
You were
Hmm.
witness to a bolt of lightning coming out of nowhere and striking Tizzy yesterday, however. So this is on it tracks for your group.
Theme.
Yeah. So I don't know. I tend to just like think about my jams and rock them out a little bit. And so I've been going a few different directions because I think I feel like tomorrow we got that tournament thing where we're supposed to just win. Are we in agreement we're just going to win everything? So
I would like to.
I mean, the prizes have been very good so far.
do we know what the prize is?
Do we?
I don't think so.
Maybe it's a racist hat.
Maybe.
Ooh,
Hopefully
I wonder
not a
if there's
racist hat.
I wonder if there's like a racist set bonus, like you become like the Grand Wizard of racists.
World of Warcraft tier armor, just racism. I think
I'm not
that's
the
just
one
a
who
KKK
designed and
uniform.
implemented these items. I'm just
I mean,
the
he
one
did
who's been
say
gifted
Grand
them.
Wizard.
It's true.
Thank
The
you.
I'm
helmet's
not gonna-
just a hood.
Fire Mike Burles. Anywho.
So, but I thought I'd ask for a little bit of advice on my jams, because lately I just kind of sing the songs that make I kind of feel like might be kind of fun. So there's one I've been working on, and it's all about like big lizards and like giant creatures fighting each other and fighting with me, and it's pretty heavy. It's pretty good. I like it. There's another one where it's like it's kind of like a weird secret song, and it helps like, you know, Val being the muse of my song might like disappear into the
muse?
crowd, and they would not know where she is, and then she's like making people feel bad and like punch him in the back, and they're like, who did that? And there's no one there. Then there's one that like just is so discordant, it makes no sense, and everyone goes cross-eyed. That one would be hilarious, of course. But I'm kind of
Like
feeling the
hypnotic
like
pattern.
the battle lizards, and I think
Battle Wizards.
I think it might work tomorrow. So I wanted to get your thoughts on.
Battle lizards.
Yeah.
I
Like
have
the lizards
noticed.
that we fought.
I mean, not to distract from this conversation, but I answered a question for you, so I think I get to ask one in return.
Oh yeah, sure.
Okay. Would it be dangerous for you if you had to return to the Feywild?
Potentially. I mean, it's potential for anybody.
I mean, that's good to keep in mind, because who knows where we may have to travel on our various adventures, and whatever is coming after you will affect the rest of the party. So we'll know to watch your back.
Is that really,
Um,
as far as I know, there's not really anything coming after me other than like Fey lords that were like, join my team. And I'm like, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, Mikey, you weren't there when we looked into a hole through the universe into a really, 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 really big city.
No,
Did
no, I was
said-
not.
We sent paper airplanes through.
Yeah, it's
No,
true.
Oh my.
You sent something through a hole in the fabric of our plane.
Paper airplanes.
It said, look up, Cassidy's here.
That is incredibly dangerous.
It was okay.
It seemed so. I almost
Yeah, you wanted to
Jumped
jump
through
in
it.
real bad.
I really
and
wanted to go
we
in. It
kind
was
of
pretty
talked
cool
you out
down
of it.
there. It's true.
It was like thousands of feet in the air.
Mhm.
So
I only had 50 feet of rope.
Out of
Yeah, there was-
curiosity, can you tell me exactly where this hole was?
In the Briarwood,
Yeah, in the Briarwood.
Like
near
draw a map?
like north West? Maybe?
Lyodin, can you please roll me a religion, a general charisma, or a history check? I'll give you any of those three.
Let's see here.
And do so with advantage, actually, because this pertains to your religion.
I'm trying.
Is it the same? So dirty 20 in religion.
That checks out. Briarwood is where a lot of the portals open up and the rifts in time and space in Ghastheim.
Mhm.
That's where a lot of paladins go and sometimes don't come back.
Okay. Do I know at all if like there have been any recent escapades of paladins in there to close some of those?
There was a mission about 5 months back from the Autumnsburg church, and they lost 1 or 2 members, but did manage to close up that rift.
Okay. Timeline wise, how does that?
That would have been
That would have
before.
been long before you met these folks.
Okay.
So it's a fairly common occurrence.
I mean, to be fair, the portal was like way up in their sky, and I don't think people could even like really see it from down below because it was like a really long way, and it didn't seem like anything was coming through. So I think it's probably pretty okay as far as portals into other dimensions go.
If you ever come across a portal, you should avoid interacting with it, because if the denizens on the other side of the portal do not know that there are different planes, and they discover there are different planes, they may then decide to invade our plane and massacre everyone in this plane. And that would be bad.
But what about paper planes?
How do you know
There might
that?
theoretically be a plane of entirely paper.
That might be true, but there might be planes where they have never heard of planes or paper. And they see this thing, and it prompts a whole research team. And then they do research, and then they tear apart the fabric of the planar system. And then it's not even just our plane, and all of the planes have fallen apart. And there's nothing left to massacre because we have been unmade.
Okay,
That would definitely fall under the category of very bad.
very bad
Yes.
day.
Yep.
Couldn't that be said about doing anything that you've not done before?
There's always a risk of unmaking the universe.
being
Well,
unmade?
crap.
I mean, that's very true in my
Well,
line of work.
Finding people that are they don't know you existed and they want to massacre you, and then you're like, no, please don't, and then they're gonna follow you, and then your friends are like, hey, you can't massacre them, we're gonna massacre you, and then there's a 20-year-odd war.
You make a point.
Yeah, maybe you're one
Depends for
half of a
gas time.
god that's been split into 2, and then you have to fight your alternate self for supremacy of that godhood. I mean, theoretically, that's a thing that could happen.
Just because it could happen in other ways doesn't mean we should encourage it to happen in this one particular way.
Very true.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay,
Not
well,
really.
I promise I won't send any more paper airplanes through portals into other dimensions unless you let me.
Oh, and I'm sorry if I came off as prying, Cassidy. I've been generally trying to let you answer personal details about yourself as your own leisure, but I do know that like if there is someone coming after you, that will affect the rest of us. So I'm just trying to, make plans for the future.
I don't believe there's I don't believe there's anyone coming after me, but that doesn't mean there's no like Lion just walked up and was like, hello, I'm here because I'm after you. And I was like, all right, let's go.
I suppose that has already happened.
Yeah,
did
and I
get sent
don't
heads.
know if Lyodin is sent by the
Oh,
church
yeah, and
to
he's
massacre
here.
me.
I know.
We should talk to him at some point.
Sorry, to who?
Scalagog.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
You said something about building something.
Yes, a replacement theater for the one that we burnt down accidentally, sort of not accidentally. And I have a draft of an agreement that would be between us if he was able to accept it. It would be that we give him the intellectual property that I've come up with for the indoor rain system, but he and his thugs have to come up with the funds for actually building it.
To prevent more fires.
Yes.
That's very clever.
Neat. Sounds
So I don't know if we
complicated.
can get him to agree to the whole agreement. It's a little long, and Mikey like out of their bag takes like a giant stack of papers and plunks it down. And they're like, yeah, I've been working on this a little bit, on and off at night for a while now.
Okay.
Oh man, I
That's
wish
what Mikey's been writing all this time.
like I wish we had chatted because, and I'm going to pull out like Lord Sunset's business card and
Oh,
be like,
good.
I was just going to see if you would just go away for dinner with the Fey Lord.
Is that a thing that's worth using that on?
I don't know. It's just dinner with the Fey Lord. Is that good?
I mean, here's
We're
a
not,
thing
like-
that is morally a little questionable, and I have been loath to bring it up. But we also do have this, and Mikey will pull out the bottle that they won with Tizzy in one of the other matches.
Oh.
Just in case Scalagug doesn't actually want to agree to it, I would prefer if he would agree to it of his own free will. But
Remind me what's in that?
I don't know if I've told anyone yet, but it's not
If
great.
not.
It's literally some of Sassafras's breath, and it will do mind things to people who inhale it.
Okay.
So if I do pull this out at any point, maybe hold your breath and don't breathe in for a while.
Okay.
I figured I'm the safest one to use it because I don't need to breathe.
Fair.
I think I can hold my breath for approximately 45 seconds.
Impressive.
Thank you.
It's a number of minutes equal to your Constitution modifier plus, I think, 2 minutes. It's stupid in D&D, and then Genasi can just hold it forever.
2 minutes.
2 minutes.
But hopefully it won't need to come to that. Hopefully he will agree on the course of logic.
So wait,
If not, I have several platinum. We could give him money. That seems to be a popular.
I mean, he is at heart a businessman. So if we
People
come up
do
with a
like
deal that's
money.
good enough,
Yeah, I think Callisto was pretty opposed to giving him money. Just because.
I imagine a pirate doesn't get this kind of money very often.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. I mean, I sure don't.
Yeah.
But
I haven't seen this much money before.
I have
Adventuring is surprisingly lucrative.
yeah.
Extremely lucrative in Ghastheim.
But
I'm surprised more people don't do it. It's pretty
Well, there's kind of a high body count.
yeah,
They do.
Your
Lots
chances
of
of
people do it.
dying are.
I mean, I died already once.
Or you stopped living.
I've just had a
Yeah,
couple
well,
of little
that's true.
snoozers.
Two of the best ways to make money in Ghastheim, most of you would know, is you either ship out to the behemoth hunts, which has a very high mortality rate, or you ship out to be an adventurer in the Heroes Guild, and that also has a very high body count. And then the more pious people tend to join the Church of Secrets to defend the small folk.
Would I happen to know about behemoths? Behemoth.
Roll me a general charisma check.
Val sure
Charisma.
does. And you've eaten some. You had that behemoth moose. Was it a moose?
You
Woo.
had Tarask pate.
23.
Okay.
You would know that up north is where a lot of the meat comes from. And talking with Val, it's a major trade route for a lot of this behemoth export, either as jerky or down to the front. You would know what behemoths are.
Okay.
There's a whole bunch of different types of them as well.
Would I know their, now Cassidy wouldn't, but can Pat know what their challenge rating is? Are they considered beasts?
They are considered beasts. They are natural to Ghastheim, one of the few things.
Ooh.
And they are, for sake of size and comparison, they're about 2 to 4 stories tall.
Mhm.
They are herbivores mostly, except for 1 or 2 of the breeds which are omnivores, which are very, very dangerous and very rarely get taken down.
Mhm.
And you also know that there are tundra and tarasques up there that hibernate for most of the year and then emerge to take a behemoth or two once or twice a year, which is what Reginald Dist fed you the other night.
So the veggie behemoths are the like.
They graze the treetops. They tend to follow the winter. So they follow the deciduous trees as they come in and out. So the migration path is like from the very, very far north of Rostov all the way down to about the north of the Briarwood. And then they kind of
Have some
roam the
thoughts.
Briarwall Forest.
Polymorph.
Val is quite familiar being from Greasy Knuckle because it's like where
Yep.
a lot of the butcheries and factory canning facilities are for a lot of this meat.
Yep. And lots of people who, took up the, hey, there's free money. Go sign
Free
up.
money.
Don't come back.
Mhm.
Join the wagon trains and sledges. It's fine.
It won't be that close. Oh, shoot.
I
You're
feel like writing a song about one of these things. That could be fun.
You also know that the reason there are multiple hunting companies here are because it is extremely lucrative for the companies that run these outfits.
Right.
They're not nobility by any means, but they have enough money to make it not matter.
But they're
At
considered beasts.
23. They are
Like
considered
as a-
beasts.
Beasts.
Yes, you can eventually polymorph into behemoths.
just like
It's
really
just
Hulk
Reel
out.
that in. That's what I was fishing for.
It's how every D&D player is like, Titanoboas are a beast, and then you have a heyday with polymorph and just are so happy at the end of it.
I'm
And
still
also, you guys
fixated
know
on
where
being
to
a
go
dinosaur.
to see where all the dinosaurs are, because you can just go back to the Cave of Hunger and root around a bit.
Just hang
So-
out with some dinos.
Yeah, this world is real high intensity. Anywho, I digress. Are you folks continuing this conversation? Are you going to dinner? Are you going to try and like head out early to chat with Jean or Susie? Your line of questioning was deflected several times, Mikey.
Yep.
Very blatantly.
Who, mine? What? Did I distract some?
Cassidy would never do that.
What? Misdirection from Cassidy?
I'm an
Never.
open book that's,
You mean Matilda Steele?
I don't know who that is.
Well, if you wanted to go and talk to Jean, I'm not really good at like relationship stuff, but I could take along.
If you want to.
I've
know.
also got maybe an invitation to go and like take a turn around the garden.
With
With Prince Jazar, he invited me to go and discuss a theory that he has about particular biomechanics of some of the larger breeds.
he seems very keen for your company.
Yeah, I mean, he's got an amazing mind.
He seems to like your mind too.
Really.
Yeah, like
I would just like
he
Val
was
knows.
like this, like leaning forward, like all ears.
Like he couldn't hear very well.
No, like he wanted to be close to you and hear more of your juicy brain workings. I don't know.
Oh.
Juicy brain workings? What?
Perhaps he
There's
has
an intellectual
ideas
appeal
to
there.
share with you.
Yeah, I don't know. There's all sorts of
Cool.
people here.
Yeah,
Like,
if,
how's
if we wanted to meet up again at dinner.
I still haven't heard back from this woman that Cassidy and I sent a note to. I'm
Maybe-
wondering
maybe
what
ask
it
one
is
of the
that she
attendants.
wanted.
You could ask one of the attendants to follow up.
Was
Oh,
that
that's a good idea.
the one that we beat and was all sad about it?
No.
Yeah,
That was the
Yes?
she wasn't
Gothic
huffy about
lady.
it. She was sad.
No.
Oh, she was pretty.
She was.
Seemed very into Leiden. Just gave Leiden a room number too. And then you sent that lovely letter. There's been nothing thus far, but you did just send that like 3 hours ago. So, well, more like 7, but
Mm.
Well, like I said, I'm happy to go talk to Jean. I don't really know her that well, so maybe Cassidy, if you
You guys
want
wanna
to
meet her?
like, sure, and like, I don't know. I feel like you'll be able to introduce me in a way that makes it slightly less awkward that a random stranger is going to give her advice on her marriage.
I guess I
giving-
can try.
giving some girlfriend advice.
Yeah, she very much did not want me present for it. And I
Oh,
don't know if that
yeah.
is because I am a paladin or because she just wanted it to remain private. Or it could be
I
both.
can't remember. Was I not supposed to tell anybody?
You said at the
You
beginning
said
that
at
we
the
were not
beginning you
supposed
were
to.
not supposed to
tell
tell
anybody.
anyone.
Vision of sister, I suppose, because it doesn't sound like something I would have said, but maybe I did. I don't know. Huh.
Difficult to remember things like that.
Hmm.
There's no footage to ever prove it.
Right, yeah. Roll for short-term attention. -7. Yeah, okay. Well, we could go talk with Jean, or we could talk to Susie. Either way, I suppose. Jean would be probably better. I don't want to say that. That's not right. I'm trying to frame it in a way that
Well,
is more palatable than
the way
potential
that,
reasoning.
the way that I sort of decided that talking to Jean first would be smart is because Susie is the one that's feeling slighted. So talking to Jean to reason with her, talk her through her side of it seems like the way to go.
Sure.
Me.
I can't really send her. Well, I mean, I probably shouldn't, because yeah, we'll just send her a regular old note. Pop my head out the door and be like, "Attendant,
Ring a
note
little bell.
collector."
The minute you start ringing that bell, you do hear footsteps from the front. They come up the stairs, around in. Yes, Miss Thorne.
Hi.
You notice they have learned your name.
Oh, hi. Can you go get Jean Hustigar and tell her to come here?
I will inquire for her, sir. And ma'am, where should I send her? Here?
You guys want to meet her here? Like, this room's pretty rad. It's
Yeah, it's a nice
It's
room.
in the cool kid rooms. Sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Neutral
right,
round.
Yeah.
right away. And you see he goes down about
1
4
second. Something for you. I'm gonna reach into the old bag of holding and take out
pauses.
some rotten food that I've stored in there for a while.
God.
Very Home
Like the
Alone 2.
pate from last night.
Like there you go.
Is it the blue meat?
Little piece of blue.
Oh,
There's a little bit
you
of blue
see
goo
him
you can
take
chew.
it, and he goes, "Thank you, Miss Thorne."
Mhm.
And he puts
I-
it in his pocket very slowly and like awkwardly.
Can I like catch his
Squishes.
eye
floats
over their head and like just toss one, toss a silver,
Okay. He
I'll
catches
like
it
a
with the other
sorry
hand,
and just throw it over.
fumbles it a little bit, catches it, kind of like looks, and he puts it in the opposite pocket and nods. Anything else?
Just for an explanation, if you're looking for a story to tell, do you pull out a piece of silver and say, "Let me tell you all about this"? And everyone goes, "Ooh, a silver piece." Or do you pull out a weird piece of blue goo that you may or may not chew and say, "Let me tell you about this"? And people go, "Ooh, what is that?"
Don't chew it.
Do whatever you want.
I will not chew it.
Nah.
Thank you, Miss Thorne. And turns, walks about 4 doors down, knocks at the door of where Jean is staying. There's a pause.
Nobles.
Knocks again. Awkwardly kind of looks over at you folks standing in the open doorway. Goes, "I'll inquire in the garden," and like goes back down around the staircase and disappears.
All right.
Well, I don't know. We can wait.
Yeah.
What? Oh, Mikey.
Yes.
Wait. Yes, Mikey. What do you do at night?
I mean, I read. I've been writing this. I'll point to the stack of papers, as well as a couple other things. I mean, I've been hoping to talk a paper about the biomechanics of artificial beings and point at Pico for a while. So I've been working on the thesis of that. It's coming along very well. Mostly study, write, wander around. That's about it.
Here?
Yeah, in my room.
Oh,
It's on the
Isn't
back
there
of
a
the wagon
library
when we
here?
were coming here. There's a library here, but I do not go there very often because it is full of liches.
so that's awesome.
No,
These
No,
are
it's
the
very
liches that
not.
want
Bad
Butch
liches.
dead.
it's very bad.
They want
I mean,
which
one of
what
them I'm
lich?
not sure. There was one guy I don't know, but definitely the rest of them were liches.
You've met 2 of the 4 liches here.
The only ones I know are Kesh, Durak, and Sophratus.
Who's Sophratus?
The kiss of death. Ooh.
Hmm. It's a very spooky name.
They all have spooky names though. Like imagine if I like what a douche. What if I was like, oh, I'm Cassidy Thorne, the crusher of balls. People would be like, ooh, that's not very nice.
I mean,
If
they
was
would
like,
expect it from the Fae. Fae have
Cassidy
titles.
Thorne? True.
There are
I mean,
several
everyone can have a
heroes that
title.
have those sorts of titles.
But have we met the vampire guy hero?
I don't think so.
Or
Not
did
yet.
we want to do that? We like you guys were like, let's kill him. I was like, whoa.
Maybe we should meet him first.
I mean, if he's someone that doesn't need to sleep and he's up at night, and then you're like up at night and you're a little worried, and there's liches, but some liches are cool and some aren't, or something. I don't really understand these like
I think any of
this
the
two-colored
liches that are
world that
part
seems
of-
to be here.
part of that group.
Mhm.
I don't think any of those are good.
I mean, definitely I don't want to meet Kesher Durak on a dark night
Or a bright
or in the middle of the day,
day.
either. Yeah, definitely not when there's people around.
Or a cloudy day.
Yeah, or ever,
night.
really. Just ever.
Okay.
Hmm.
So don't make if they want to be friends with me, of course I'll make
I
friends,
mean,
but
if you
I won't
meet,
go
if you
out of
meet the
my way to
vampire,
make friends.
if you meet the vampire and want to talk to them, that sounds cool.
Yeah, I'm just trying to remember their name by looking at my notes. Oh, Jerkadar, the Everlife, I believe.
Oh,
Living?
Is it
Life
Everliving
or
or Everlife?
Everliving?
I think it's
The
it was
Everlife.
Everlife because it was
Everlife.
grammatically incorrect. I remember
Okay.
that.
The Unlife specifically.
The Unlife.
Mm.
Oh, anyways, that's someone. But I guess I got to camp here for a little while until
Oh, sorry, I'm wrong. It's the Everlife. Whoops!
my notes are good.
How dare I
Evernote.
be a real person with flaws?
Mhm.
Oh,
And
Well, I'm gonna
He
hang
was
out.
also dressed as a chipmunk.
Oh, strange.
It was.
I'm gonna hang out, I guess, and wait for Gene because I kind of was like, Gene, come to my room, so I can't go
Yeah.
anywhere.
if you wanted to go take that turn around the garden with the
Oh
prince.
yes, actually, if you don't need me here, maybe I will. It was a short turn because we have to get ready for obviously the evening's festivities.
I would just say, like, pay attention to how much attention he's paying you.
Okay. I'll try to do that.
He's sweet on you in an
What?
intellectual way, at least. Possibly more. I don't know.
Huh. Are you sure?
No, but like I'm doing my best to interpret something in a person that I don't really know that well. But like he was like if I
I
was
mean, that
leaning
was just
towards
because
you,
it was difficult to here and there,
no,
and it's a mask.
no.
All right. Mikey will put their mask back on, but they're like looking very thoughtful, and then they'll give you a wave and head out of the room. You go take a turn around the garden.
All right.
I wouldn't have picked
the
up any of those
prince-
things, but you're the one who had a dragon orgy, so
Lighted,
I
have
was
you checked your
invited, to be
room
fair.
at all in the last hour and a half, 2 hours?
no.
I think you guys have just been hanging out in Casty's room for like every single time you chatted.
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean,
Isn't
I
Lila's
sleep in
room-
my room.
Right next to Cassidy's.
No, my room is right next to Sassafras's.
Yeah,
Yes,
right.
which is 2 doors down. You're all in the VIP section, a la Casty.
Do you
however,
guys wish for me to speak to the voice of hunger for Thresh in regards to what sort of powers Thresh may imbue upon worshippers, so we could try and figure out what threshing gas does in advance of seeing it?
what? Threshing gas? What? I'm genuinely
That was
confused.
what they mentioned, right?
Yeah, from the meeting.
From the meeting.
Would that have something to do with like thresh? Like,
Yes.
I mean, it's worth asking.
should we
At
just
least
talk
the
to the,
name's similar.
so we're gonna go talk to the Prime Hunger?
Well,
Yes.
I think Lyden was anyway.
Yes.
Cool.
I
We should
could
probably
wander off
stay
and
put.
do that while you.
all right. So Casty and Valor hanging tight. Mikey, you're off to find the crown prince, Jazar Jadartha. And Leiden, you're off to find the voice of Thresh.
Yeah, I stopped by my room.
Roll me d20s, all three of you groups.
Oh my goodness.
Boy.
We'll do this old-fashioned.
Heck.
All right.
Do a heckin' good.
I got it. 18.
15 for
I
Mikey.
rolled a 6.
Is it per group or is it per individual?
Per group.
Okay,
Oh,
so
you're with
Cassidy's already
Casty,
rolled
and
for us.
Casty already
Sorry.
rolled for you.
Oops.
I rolled a 6.
where's my
We
character?
rolled a
So much for
6.
teamwork. Leiden, you rolled an 18, so you
did.
managed to find the voice of Thresh fairly quickly in the garden, and they are actually up near the hedge maze. You notice, kind of tucked away, and they are in what looks to be a gazebo that's been placed there with a number of small kind of statues and daises, and you can tell that this is a very, very small chapel of the Church of Many Faiths. There is the Eye of Matanus there. There is, and this figure is currently sitting cross-legged. You can't tell behind the mask what the face is doing, but they seem to be in some sort of meditative state.
Oh, so like they're like paying their respects, does it look like?
Looks like. There's a number of other people there too, doing various gestures. One noble person is doing the eye before the symbol of Matanus, and someone else is also kind of not directly with the voice of Thresh, but is sitting cross-legged, eyes closed.
Yeah. Until the voice of Thresh leaves, I'll go ahead and do some prayers in there to Matanus.
The noble, when you walk up, immediately like bows the head very deeply and joins you in your own, stays a little bit longer, you notice.
My prayers focus primarily right now on if lightning powers are something that could benefit me. What are Matanus's thoughts? Is that something that maybe could happen for me, or is that something that would go against all that is sacred?
Roll me a religion check with advantage, because you are a paladin of this god.
Let's see here. 18.
You definitely feel that you have communicated. There is normally kind of a sort of jealousy by the dark gods of Karnifexia. They have their own kind of domains. Lightning is one of those nebulous ones that like Thresh has claimed in the past. Verity's tried to steal a piece of. Vaka mostly has domain over, but you're with a follower of Vaka, so you definitely feel you've been heard, and the eye turns on you, even for a moment, and you can feel the presence just there watching. The hair prickles up across your body, and even you notice the voice of Thresh. You see the mask tilt ever so slightly with that presence. Doesn't seem to be bothered by it, but definitely kind of notes the awareness of a god.
I smile at the eye, knowing that it's the only one who can see me smiling right now.
You kind of wrap this up after about a couple of solid minutes of connection, and it's odd for Matanus to linger on one follower for long, having so much to look after and watch and protect. But you notice that the voice of Thresh stands up close to when you're about to leave, nods respectfully, goes to leave unless you're going to broach a conversation.
I nod back at them and then kind of like gesture as if, do you want to walk with me?
This person follows off. It's a younger tiefling man, you notice, and the horns have actually been painted brown to match the wood of the mask. But he kind of gestures off and lets you take the lead as you walk through the gardens.
Mm-hmm.
What can I do for you, Paladin?
I am
It's odd because the
curious.
voice is emitting from this mask. He's not taking his mask off as well.
I am curious to know more about your god.
Yes, the mighty cycle. Is there something Thresh can help you with? And the face turns, this maw carved into the mask takes up almost the entirety of it. The teeth seem very real for a moment.
I do not know. I have encountered very little of Thresh in my journey so far, except for hints and nudges of his symbology. And I wonder what that has in store for myself and my traveling companions.
Thresh is a god of the small folk. They who still honor the cycles. You give, you take. It is always hunger. Always. As long as you offer tribute to what you kill, there is no qualm. The sickle shall not bar your way. For he is everywhere. Should your eye be looking down, know that the leaves and the grass, they also watch, just as Vaka watches from every glistening dewdrop. I might not expect you city folk, being from Winter's Crest, to understand. I grow restless even there, naught but rats, birds to eat in tribute, many nights.
Oh, I'm actually from Autumnsburg. I've been in Winter's Crest
City-
maybe one a day or two.
City
Temples there are
one-
different than the temples in Autumnsburg, but I understand that that is not the point you are making.
Do you seek to join a god that might have closer roots to us here? And gestures to the garden in kind of a sweeping motion.
Oh, I am very happy with my god.
There are not many that serve multiple. Usually the gods have made some sort of agreement. And you see the mask pauses and kind of tries to catch your eyes through your mask. There's a long pause and then goes, I have felt Vaka, Daphocles upon you and yours. Strange.
Very. A recent development.
Once upon a time, well, that's how we got Verdi. Do you know the legend?
I do not know the legend, but I know that there is something very wrong with his power.
Well, he stole it from yours. Surely they teach you that when you were a young altar person?
Sometimes my memory is not the best.
Sometimes the stories told around cooking meat last longer than the ones told in sermons.
I have always found myself to be more of a physical learner.
They say that Verdi was unhappy as a hero, unsatisfied. And so he gathered followers somehow, some way, stole the gift of sight, stole the flesh, as you are familiar.
Yes, the
the site? What keeps you safe, protected? Someone always watching your back.
Yes.
My God is less favor-based. We are all just meat. And kind of bows the head politely. Is there anything else I can answer?
Yes. Your god, how does meat play into this war? I imagine you are here for some reason tied to the war efforts.
I was invited because many of the folks up north follow my God. They pray that they are eaters and not eaten. You can say politics as many times as you want, but he only cares whether you pay respect or not to the cycle. He does not care about nobles detached from what is natural and right.
Have you heard of threshing gas?
I have heard of Thresh's curse, but I'm not familiar of a gas, no.
What is the curse of Thresh?
It is a withering. Well, those that anger him directly usually summon predation. Put them in their place. He likes that. Those who defy him or live beyond his reach, say the cities, they wither. They become diseased. It is not unsimilar to your blood curse. They
No,
all
I know.
have some curse, be it Vaka trading souls for power or Thresh needing things to be in balance.
I know that if any of mortal kind or even a different god were to find some way to harness Matanus's curse, that would be a great offense to my church. Is that the same for your god?
I cannot fathom the depths of Thresh's will outside of eat or be eaten. Your God cares about the realms, the people. If one could weaponize he who protects, that would be grave indeed. For I have seen those that try to seek knowledge beyond what they know. It is not a pretty sight in the final stages of the curse. The weeping blood, the stench of iron. However, Thresh knows, and that is where they come together. And goes quiet after that. And kind of almost see the smile behind the mask.
Mhm. After we finish our next little loop, I'll bid him farewell with
Kind of
a little
bows respectfully.
respectful bow.
And
It
you
was
see
good
kind
speaking
of
with you.
you as well. Should you keep the cycle? And kind of walks off. Mikey, you actually would spot these two kind of making their rounds in the garden. You pick up Prince Jazar, managed to make a loop, Is there anything you want to broach with them immediately, or?
Not particularly. I think we're just talking theory at this point. I may or may not be so engrossed in talking that like Lyden walks nearby and I don't even notice them.
Totally go by.
Yeah. It's just Jazar, Mikey, and Pico like trotting along behind, and sometimes Mikey will stop and like point something out on one of Pico's joints, or like flip open the tea lid and show some of the runes that have been etched inside. They seem to be talking very animatedly. Yeah.
The prince is into this. He's like basically hung on every single word, and you've started to pick up on a couple of things Val has said as well. Is getting close, is like kind of leaning in when you point at something on the inside of Pico, so on and so forth.
Excellent.
And you folks have a lovely time in the garden. Casty and Val, you have about a good 30-minute wait if there's anything you want to try and accomplish. And then Jean does show up at your door, is dressed in the finest dress attire, has the mask kind of hung loosely on a gold chain, although on closer inspection you can see it's brass around her neck. Miss Thorne. And I believe you're also a friend of my wife's. Yes? Val, is it?
Yeah.
May I come in?
That was the idea.
She comes in, closes the door behind her, takes a seat kind of in the chair of the desk in your setup there, Casty, because you have a nicer room.
I probably, just for safety's sake, would have held the last little note of a song for Domes. So once she sat down and got cozy, I would have been like, Dome!
What color is it?
Pink. Actually, no, I will
right.
do it. I will do it blue like the sea.
Oh.
Here we go. It's kind of a like.
Get that AC going. Good times.
Yeah. Nice and cozy in here.
Blue Lagoon.
Blue Lagoon. I like that.
So she waits for you to finish this.
Yeah. So Jean, I've been writing a story about a couple characters. I've called them Jean and Susie. It's a work of fiction, and I'm struggling a bit because I'm still in the research phases. And one of the things I'm not so good at writing.
Did you tell her after I specifically asked you to keep this quiet?
No, I'm writing a story about some characters that I have named Jean and Susie, and
Cassidy.
Jean.
For what it's worth, I'm pretty good at emotional stuff, and Cassidy sometimes doesn't always get like how we think. So
Well, can you
non-judgmental party, like
So
not involved in
need-
this, happy to help.
We've invited you to help with the research for the story I'm writing, because these characters of mine, completely fictional, Jean and Susie, they're having a hard time communicating, and I can't really help as a writer. I'm not really sure, like it's not feeling like I've got what I need to really like flesh these characters out. So I thought Val is
roll a persuasion check for me, Casty.
persuasion.
Val is helping with this, so you can either roll separate checks or one of you can roll with advantage.
There we go. 25.
Oh, shit. Do I even bother rolling to this?
I haven't even finished talking. I haven't even finished.
You see her
painting the picture.
She's kind of softening because she realizes that it's coming from a good place, and is kind of like exasperated, but also listening.
So I thought, as a tactician, you might have like you might be able to like really get it out. And Val, as a
Consultant?
consultant.
Emotional consultant.
Sure. Could like take your tactical knowledge and buff it up with a little with feelings. What? I don't, this is why I need help researching my story.
So, Miss Valeri, my wife and I are currently not
She knows your
living
last
together.
name?
She
Apparently.
does. I assume it's official.
I mean,
like,
it's on the posters, so people have seen it.
she might or might not have a dossier on you folks. As head of the Navy. But she kind of pauses. She goes, we're currently not living together because my wife seems to think my duty to Kaiser and country is making me not love her. I don't know. She's complaining about me not being home enough when I'm working, trying to stop her from getting invaded. And now you're telling me I need to use my tactics to conquer my wife?
You can approach a situation using your tactical finesse without it necessarily being manipulative. It's just trying to use the right tool for the job.
Susie is all heart and no logic. So I fear that even if I soften, she might not be able to come all the way and see my side.
And it doesn't even necessarily need to be a matter of softening. It's just a matter of, again, I'm going off of the very loose research that Cassidy has described to me. So please correct me or give me details as you feel I need.
Or my work
I
of
don't
fiction.
think
For your work
I
of
don't
fiction.
think she understands that if I am not away, she could die. I don't think she gets that. I don't know if she's mature enough. We got married young, granted.
Mhm.
And what do you do if someone is
entirely possible that she might not understand that reality? Like she's a city person in a fairly high class echelon, and I'm assuming that has been the case for her entire life.
Yes, she comes from
So
the noble quarter.
sheltered. doesn't necessarily know the rougher edges of things.
I've assumed that's why she loves me, is because she thinks I'm a rough and tumble sailor from the black market district. But
I mean, you know,
Are you?
it also
there's an appeal in
means
that.
I think you're right. I don't think she can come all the way. How do you show someone who is that privileged what war is like? Men dying, drowning all around you.
Do you think that would help though? Because it might just traumatize her and it might just make her see you in a way that is upsetting. And I don't think that's what you necessarily want either. I know that I've definitely done things to protect people I care about that I didn't necessarily want them to know the gory details of.
I don't tell her anything for state-based reasons already, but I especially don't revel in the gore that I've seen.
So to me, it sounds like there's just a disconnect between each of your experiences and how each of you are trying to express connection. She's looking for A, and you aren't able to give A, you can give B. But how can you reconcile
the
that?
dashing naval captain at her side, not out on her actual ship.
But the idea is to see if you can reconcile those things so that she sees whatever gestures you make, which I'm sure you do, to show your affection and show that connection, that she actually receives it the way that you intend. And vice versa, that you can receive, I'm sure she does things that maybe you don't recognize as signs of affection or signs of connection that you're missing.
There likely are. You're probably right.
Cassidy, you'd wanted to add something?
What if in my work of fiction, there happened to be a bard of considerable renown, known for sharing legends and lore of heroes of the realms.
Maybe she could be a fawn.
Could be. I don't know. I didn't even
Or-
say it could be whatever it wants to be.
It's not
Could
a
be
bad idea
turtle.
though. If Cassidy were to pen a
My character in my
epic-
novel.
yes,
Oh,
of course.
super.
If Cassidy in the story were to pen an interesting epic story song starring this fictional version of Jean, to give some insight into the effort that goes into it without the gore, glorifying you in a way that might make Susie feel kind of awesome about being on your arm. So there's like that little bit of like ego buffing.
She does like the thrill.
That could help, but I also think that there needs to be a moment where the two of you actually talk to each other. It's she wants your attention, and there's lots of different ways that you can show it without necessarily taking away from the job that you care about.
It definitely doesn't help having your pirate friend around.
Ooh, ours? Are you a pirate? Who's a
Yes.
pirate?
No, I'm not a pirate. I
Oh.
hunt. She likes strong women. What can I say? There's definitely a type for Susie, and
it's a good type.
she kind of
But-
adjusts her like dress saber.
if in addition potentially to making sure that Susie is reminded that you're rad and out there saving the day, that you also explain to her the way that you show affection, so that she's more likely to actually go, okay, like this, I'm now recognizing this because I know what I'm looking for. And you can ask her in turn, how do you show your affection, so that I can recognize that when that's happening, and we can make sure that our connection is strong, because like that's what she wants. That's what anybody wants in a relationship. They want to feel connected to their partner. And with you off adventuring, if she's not recognizing the connection that you're keeping, or the efforts that you're making to keep that connection, of course she's going to be ticked.
Roll me a persuasion check with advantage, please, Val.
I'll do persuasion. I'm reasonably good at that. And a 1 up and a 2 up. That were not great. 17 was the better of the two.
There's a pause, a long pause. And then she kind of nods. Thank you, Cassidy.
You could also maybe have a
And she's got a look on her
further-
face that is like kind of a stern look. She's still unhappy that you told, but seems kind of, you could tell there's relief behind the stern face. She goes, and thank you, Miss Valeri.
You're welcome. In addition, you might have a further conversation at some point when things are feeling a little bit more like open, and you've got that trust and communication going better, about the ways that you like to receive affection. And while it might not be, your normal thing or her normal thing to express affection in that way, each of you then knows and can at least try to make some kind of effort in there. So like, somebody really likes flowers, and it's not, somebody's thing to get flowers. It's like, once in a blue moon, I'll get flowers. And I know that this person likes this thing because I've been told, and I'm remembering, and that's, me doing something outside of my usual love language because I know that they're going to like it.
She does know that I enjoy pastries.
Does she give you pastries?
Well, when I come home on leave.
Can she send them to you? Could you do like a sweet, maybe slightly sassy letter writing? I don't know.
We'll figure
I don't know
it
what's
out.
possible.
I'll give it a day or two, and maybe I'll talk to her before this thing is over.
Good idea.
Thank you. I know that you're under Thrax's thumb, but should you need help,
Yeah.
Well, he's your handler, as far as I know. Your
We chat with him. He's okay.
should you need a more competent arm of the military, you know who to come to.
I didn't hear any aspersions whatsoever.
You did not hear that from me.
Mm-mm.
And she stands up, kind of adjusts her cuffs and strides out, closes the door gently behind her. And we're going to go to break. Hey! Natural
Break time.
endings instead of janky. Please go use the washroom. Get some food if you're a lot of us, because I haven't eaten anything. Go hug a loved one. I don't know. Go and do all the self-care things that you need to do in about 15 minutes, and then come back and we'll play some more D&D.
Mhm.
D&D.
Bye.
See ya.
Yeah, we're back.
Excellent. Good timing.
We're back.
So, my friends, by the pricking of my thumbs, something shoving popcorn in his face this way comes. Hello and welcome back to Something Wicked. Last you folks left off, you had a number of conversations with some people you wanted to have conversations with, and are finally getting ready for dinner. Mikey, you are just finishing up the last little bit of your kind of walkabout with Jazar.
Yeah.
And you do notice that there are the two Dragonborn that were from Burrow Nest are wandering the garden at the same time, just about passing you.
Oh, interesting.
Would you like to flag them down or not?
I mean, do they look particularly interested in me, or are they just kind of like going on their way to dinner?
They're kind of seeming to take in the sights. They're looking around. They've never been to Ghastheim, it looks like. So they are quite enraptured with just the ecology of the place, as where Garganta and Accra are pretty barren. Yeah.
Cool.
Entirely up to you. They're wandering by otherwise. They kind of give you a polite nod.
I'll nod back, and Mikey will sort of like glance sideways at Jazar and be like, I'm not particularly well versed in the politics of Garganta generally. I imagine you are.
Yes, I've been to Burrow Nest and Garganta many times. What would you like to know?
I mean, I know barely anything about Dragonborn generally.
Yes, it is where all the scaled have congregated in the world. There are turtles, there are dragonborn, mostly metallic, although the odd chromatic is there as well. And then there are also the lizard folk, a couple of clans of lizard folk that are not the ones that live here in Genland, either on the Vestarios Peninsula or down in Lafad.
Oh, interesting. I don't suppose that I imagine they're fairly important if they're at an event like this. I wouldn't just go up and bother them.
Yes, I believe that they send clan representatives because the one clan has been, yes, it has been going on a while now. They are in some sort of political turmoil, but they keep quite secretive to themselves. And there are, of course, other races in Burrow Nest, but they are not very forthcoming outside of their own clans.
Oh, fascinating. I wonder why two of them have been sent to this particular unveiling. I don't imagine they have much stock in store in the war between us and the Empire.
Well, there are a number of nations, as I am sure you know, Rostov is very much against the practice of slavery. So they are not directly supporting Ghastheim, but most of the world can tell who they would like to win this bout, you could say, in this double-decade war. But Garganta as well is a place of reason, and being so close to the, country of flowers, it is much more civilized than here. It is
interesting.
Rougher on this side of the continent.
The general prevailing theory in Ghastheim tends to be that the Dragonborn are rather savage, but I mean, I imagine that's just because they're not one of the favored four.
Well, there is a history, as far as I'm aware, that the old dwarven kingdoms, before they became the necropoli out in the Tattered Reach, they used the chromatic Dragonborn as a serf class. And so some old habits die very, very hard.
I see. Oh, interesting. I didn't know that.
That is long before the time of the first Strauss, the Dragon of Winter. That is 1,000 years ago, at least.
Curious that he should have called himself that, if that's the case.
First of his line. Similar to my father, you could say. Singular dynasties, they become self-important and lose sight of what they should be doing, which is ruling.
Well, I imagine that you are going to take a very, very different tack than your father. When the unfortunate day comes that you have to step up. Forgive me for saying so, but I imagine it must be very difficult to have your life planned out for you from birth. I've never understood that about monarchies generally.
Everything is power. You become just a pawn. It is hard to explain. You know that you have a duty to your father, and your father says, this is where you will go, this is who you will study with, you will make them like you will behave. And once you know enough, you will go to your next foster, and so on and so forth. And when you become older, you realize that you have really just been a diplomatic envoy of sorts. It was never about learning. It was never about becoming a better person. It was all just games.
Politics.
And you'll see the world and you have your eyes open. And my father, having played the same games in a different age, he is too wrapped up in his position, in his quote unquote duty, forgetting the duty is about the people.
That must be very, very difficult. I've always had the freedom to choose whatever sort of trade that I want. That, of course, I had a duty to the common people of Rostov as well, to do something that would be useful and contribute generally. But if I didn't want to be an artificer, that certainly wasn't expected of me. I just did it because I've been fascinated by it ever since I was hatched, basically.
I have never been to Rostov. My father always forbade that as the one place, thinking I would get revolutionary ideas.
And they do
But
tend to live in Rostov.
I would love to see it one day.
Perhaps I can
Maybe you could
tell you more stories of it and bring it to life for you with my words.
I would like that. And kind of pauses, and you see he's struggling to remove the smile from his face as you guys continue on your walk around the garden. So you folks wrap up. You've wrapped up your conversation with Jean. Leiden, are you heading to your room to get ready? Are you heading to Casty's to check in? Same with you, Mikey, kind of at the end of your stroll.
Yeah.
All right. There is a knock at the door before you two arrive, Mikey and Leiden. And there is a woman that kind of pops her head around, and you notice that there's a small top hat and a number of black lace kind of pieces attached to it. And you recognize it as the woman that was looking at Leiden with some eyes yesterday during lawn bowling. And she kind of goes, do you know where your friend is?
She poked her head into my room?
Yes. Like knocked and opened the door.
Oh. I think she's checking on her manners. I'm going to shove her at the door mentally. And
You got
And
sassy.
full on
close it with my
the door.
close it with my mage hand. Not even anywhere near. You could try again if you want.
There's a knock at the door, like almost immediately. She got shoved right on her butt, dropped her parasol, and immediately got up haughtily and started knocking on the door.
Oh yes, hello. Is someone there?
Yes, I'm looking for your paladin friend from the Church of Secrets. Tell me where they are and I'll go away. Or tell them to go back to their room, because I would like a turn. And that you hear a kind of scuffling and she's gone.
Turn.
Um,
Turn.
A turn.
So Val, I just want to understand my social graces here.
She was really rude. You were hilarious.
I'm gonna make her night miserable.
It just seems like she's really thirsty.
Well, there's drinks at dinner.
Thirsty in the dragon fucking kind of way. Maybe not specifically dragon, more like Leiden fucking kind of way. But
This place is weird.
she said she wanted a turn. So apparently she thinks that Leiden's a bike. I don't know.
That also seems a little bit okay.
Rude.
Hold on.
But you know,
I
should at least know that he has the option.
But here's the thing. I don't take kindly to you do this or else.
That's fair.
Let's just pick other
Again, she was
words.
rude.
Give me what I want or else. I believe I have something written down in one of my stories, and it reads, "Go fuck yourself." So, do I know what room she's in?
Leiden does.
Actually, no. I guess Leiden showed me the note, right?
Yeah.
Because we gave the note to like Boggart or something.
She's
Oh, yes, I think
103.
you would.
103. Ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling.
The attendant comes
Attendant!
down. It is still the same dude because this is only like an hour and a half later. Yes, Miss Thorne.
Hi. So I was under the impression that when I was put up in this important area where all the important people are, there was extra protection, that like super rude jackasses couldn't just kind of waltz their way into my room and demand to apparently have a turn with my friend. Was I under? Did I
Is
not?
that where Miss Masters was going? I'm so sorry. I'll have a word with Mr. Fist about her.
Threatening me?
She threatened.
Barging in and
Well, she opened
making
the-
demands.
She barged into the room and demanded to tell me where she is, or he is, or they are. I don't really know what that meant. I asked them to try again. They banged on the door and said, "Tell me where your friend is, and then I'll leave." I was like, "Oh,
Apologies. Miss
it's
Thorne,
nothing
I
you've
will
done. You know what?
Make
Okay.
sure that this is communicated to the proper hierarchies.
There's a little blue goo floating your way."
God. Val will just be like, and like,
You can
So
see
real-
that they've cleaned their
Yeah.
pocket from the last round.
he'll flip a silver at the poor guy.
So real talk though, that blue goo is from. Was it from the Hungering Cave?
I
Is
think
that
it
what
was
we-
the
No, it's
Cave of
from
Wonder.
the Briarwood Forest.
Oh gosh, was that old? Ooh.
Man. What's
That's
it?
The highlight of Tizzy getting eaten by it.
Yeah. Anyways, that's from some beast that we slayed in the Briarwall Forest. It's gross, like no doubt, but it's a super cool story. Now you can say it's from a beast that was slain in the Briarwood Forest. I don't know. Do what you want. I'm not the boss.
By your close personal friend, Cassidy Thorne.
Yes, ma'am. And he'll nod, and you see him squelch it into the same pocket, like seeing at least that he's going to try and get the same spot dirty if he's going to get it dirty.
Just one sec. Take it out, and I will. I'll snap clean his pocket. You don't have to take it just because I'm offering it to you. You don't have to take it. You know
I
that,
don't
right?
understand, ma'am.
If it's
You're not-
gross and ruining your day, I thought it was a pretty generous offer to say, "Hey, look at this cool thing that you could have from the Briarwood Forest. Have you been there? Have you killed beasties that drop blue goo everywhere and you've taken their teeth?" I have one of their. I
To
don't
be
want
frank,
to.
ma'am, I have been given that candy they make down in Lethard from gum trees. I've been given a lot of that over the years, so I just assumed this is normal. And you see him kind of give it back, and he goes, "Thank you. I will appreciate the story immensely."
You got it. Anytime you want a story, I bet you I could tell you one. Well, I can tell you one. I mean, it might be true, might not be. I don't know.
Yes, ma'am.
This one's always
And
coming
you
up
see
with
him-
great stories.
See him bow and immediately kind of rush out.
Yep.
He's-
He's spick and span when he leaves.
Did he eat the goo? The first goo?
He clearly threw it away.
Okay.
Like cleaned his pocket after taking it out and then throwing it away.
I think what he was saying is that when he was first offered the blue goo, that he thought it was candy, and then was like, "This is not candy.
No.
What have I been given?"
Gotcha.
He's been given a lot of gum in his life.
It was like, this man should not have eaten this.
Nobles are real shitty to people
Oh,
like
yeah.
him a lot. So he's been, like many of the people at this estate, mistreated quite a bit by nobles.
I'm not a noble. Or am I?
Right?
That's why we actually tip.
True, you do.
You do notice that you're one of the few people that are tipping well. So you folks want to head off to dinner.
Let's go to
Yeah.
dinner.
Sorry, you guys are coming from dinner. Oh, actually,
What?
let me check my handy dandy day
We
two
haven't been to
guide
dinner
before I
yet.
just start
No, dinner
yelling
is-
shit out.
6 to 9 p.m. Dinner begins with personal appearance by Mr. Reginald Fisk himself to make a grand announcement.
Oh, yes. We don't
Yes,
know the ground
indeed.
announcement.
Dingus.
So Mike, he'll come back all
Sorry, I'm getting day 3 and day
Flustered,
2 mixed
put
up.
their-
My bad.
put their one mask off, put a different mask on, change their glamour weave.
Mhm, mhm.
So
Now
you
I think
folks,
you might be right.
About
The whole prince thing.
sweet. Congrats.
I-
Oh, when we see Wyden, remind me. I have something to tell them.
I think I saw him coming up the hall.
Yeah,
What's up?
after the garden walk,
Hello.
Lyden went and did a couple exercises on the pole, and then and now,
Leiden,
now he's
when
at
you
a-
entered your room,
oh,
there was a
no.
piece of paper slid under the door that says, "My room, 12 p.m." And it just signed Maggie.
Okay.
It's in the same script as the room number you were given.
Lyden pockets it.
I'm gonna
Sorry,
make the
12
Maggie
a.m.
face that Maggie the player always does when you say Maggie the character's name and go,
Yep. Good old Maggie Masters, the only noble person in Dragonok. So
And
you can
Leiden
reply to that however
Comes
you.
over
To the room?
to Cassidy's room after a short little workout and then freshening up again.
Just imagining Lyden twerking. It's a great image.
Twerking on the pole.
just
Come
like
on.
in like underwear and the mask.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mhm.
it's excellent. It's wonderful.
It's very like Ren and Stimpy style animation in my head.
Yup.
Just like, oh,
Perfect.
You don't
back
actually
hairs.
see, because Lyden doesn't do this in front of any of you. But at first he does try to do it while still in the armor. And it doesn't go so great. And then he's like,
Yeah.
okay, I guess I have to take it off.
There's
That's
just like a screeching of metal on metal as you try to like slide down the pole.
Grinding noises.
The workout stops as I
And
go
not the
and I
right kind of
fix my
grinding noises
armor.
No.
There's a banging through the wall.
I mean, you're next door to Sassafras. There's always a banging through the wall.
pretty much.
mhm, 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 mhm.
So
You're doing
so when Lyden comes in, Val will go, oh, that noble lady who really apparently wants to have a turn with you was looking for you. I'm pretty sure
Oh.
that she wants to jump you in the sexual way real bad.
The lawn bowling
Oh,
one. I know. She's really rude.
Is
Yeah,
that
Renee.
why she gave me her number?
That was the vibe I got.
It does seem to
Oh.
be the prevailing purpose of those notes. I've noticed.
I thought maybe she needed help with something,
Oh,
Help
or
with
she
something.
had
Probably.
information, or
Maybe carnal knowledge.
Yeah.
oh,
Anyway,
okay.
I thought you should know, so you've
She's
got the
got a
option
turn
now.
with me.
Yeah.
What is does
I
she
don't know.
think that like this room is like an orgy room?
Maybe.
My room?
I mean, I already hear a
Uh,
lot.
Between Val and Callista and the Fae, and then everyone just hanging out in this room a lot and making a lot of noise.
I'm picturing this though as like a room where you like go in and there's like a lounge room and then there's the actual bedroom is for the like it's a big hotel room.
One of the swanky
we usually hang
ones.
out in the lounge, but
Yeah.
they assume we're all
Of
banging.
course they assume.
It's a hotel room and everyone else is banging. There are a number of rooms at any given point that are
I mean, that's a
making
fair
noises.
assumption at most conventions.
Anyway, you now have that information. You
There you go.
may
I wish you
do
were
with
wrong.
that as you will.
I go to like
Okay.
weird parties, I
Um,
guess.
I'm not very
So-
good at hiding.
You don't have to hide. You could just say no, that you're not interested if you're not wanting to.
Oh, that's so much more simple.
To be
That's very
clear,
straightforward.
Mhm.
I'm
And
going
you
to
are
ruin
you
her
are
night.
good at being straightforward.
And I'm good at ruining her night.
Thank you. Oh,
So-
okay.
Mhm. She's gonna like fall off her chair. She's gonna spill her drink.
Yeah, Cassidy's real miffed at her for being super rude.
People
Well,
are gonna
what
be
did she
think
do?
She
She,
farts
like-
a lot.
She barged into the room and made demands of you.
Wait, that shouldn't be possible. I'm gonna
That's
take
very
a look
rude.
at the lock on the door. Something's probably wrong with the door.
I assume the door has not been locked because everyone is hanging out at Casty's, but that is, sorry, a gross assumption on my part.
Lyden
Somebody
goes over
forgot
to
to
the
lock
door
it.
and goes,
Yeah,
"Oh,
we
here's
assumed
the
Lyden was
problem.
coming. Or
Here's the problem. We haven't been locking this."
Mhm.
Oh, that makes perfect sense.
Lyden locks the door.
It locks?
Simple problems occur.
Shoot.
Yeah.
Simple solutions.
God.
I'm just so used to orgy rooms where the door is open, and if you hear it and you feel like you're invited, you just go in.
So you folks are headed off to dinner to
Few rooms.
enjoy.
Yeah.
So
Presumably, our absent companions are there enjoying dinner at a different table.
yes, they are currently. Well, Callista would have probably joined the Fey table, seeming to do well with good old Summer Court. And
Do very
yeah,
well.
Tizzy is currently hiding under your table, trying to avoid several people, as Tizzy is wont to do.
Sounds about right.
The majority of you folks, are you taking a seat at the central table in the dining hall kind of theater? You notice they've set up the theater a different way today. They have a number of circle tables that are kind of
Ooh.
all out in front of the stage,
I am
similar to a
taking-
comedy night style.
I am taking a seat within 10 feet of Maggie Masters.
Lyden is clearly torn between continuing this bodyguard premise and sitting further away from Maggie.
Val will make sure that Lyden has access to this furthest chair possible while still being
Yeah.
near Cassie.
I'll sit in front of you so I kind of screen you from view.
Okay, perfect. So you folks kind of wander in. About half the space is full at this point. Pretty much everyone is here. There's a couple of exceptions, but for the most part, the crowd is kind of riled up and ready to go after the debauchery of last night, where, you know, night one of the con, baby. Everyone went hard and they're expecting something similar. So already there are champagne glasses out. There are hard bar drinks. A couple of Caesars have been placed on tables in advance of the people arriving to claim seats. It is a bit of a gong show. But everyone does file in. Fedini sits at the same table as Cassidy next to Maggie. Catches a couple.
I'm not sitting at her table. I'm sitting within.
Oh, you're
10
sitting
feet-
away.
within 10 feet of her.
That Mean Girls
it's
thing
like-
where you can look over.
Yeah.
crowd
So
at
if
her.
like she's at this table, like I'm at this table, so I may or may not need to be
Perfect.
within 10 feet of her to ruin her night.
For some reason.
Awesome. Commissar Brokoff and Ambassador Chechen actually join you,
Oh, cool.
Michaelius, at your table.
Sweet.
And you notice that a couple of the other folks of note, Boggart is back tonight, as well as a number of military folks, and Reginald and the Kaiser are separate tonight. They're at separate tables. The Kaiser is seated with the members of the Shadow Covenant, and Reginald Fist seems to be entertaining some of the military folks and some nobles, it looks like tonight. Skalagug is also separate and actually seems to be sitting with some of the heroes tonight.
Not us.
Not you.
No.
But-
I'm gonna go ahead and pop see invisibility.
All right. You can immediately see in the rafters, similar to last time, there are a number of shadow blacks in invisibility up top.
Okay.
There are a couple of auras that you recognize almost immediately. So the Fey, specifically the one you know now to be a Fey dragon, is distorted a bit. And Sassafras has not yet arrived, but you can assume that same similar distortion effect will be on him as well. Otherwise, nobody is immediately invisible that you can see.
Okey-dokey.
I
Where
imagine
does
Prince
the
Jazar
prince
is
sit?
sitting with the fancy people.
He is sitting with a number of folks that are a bit more diplomatically inclined elsewhere. You notice that he has chosen to sit with the two Dragonborn.
Oh, really? Cool.
For some reason. And Lord Sunset has also kind of joined your table for the evening next to you folks. Are you sitting with Casti all together, or are you guys kind of splitting apart and separating out?
No, we're all
So
sitting together.
At the table together. Yeah.
Yeah. So Lord Sunset will join you folks.
Interesting.
Yeah. Dinner is served without much fanfare this time around. And the dinner is delicious. It's a number of roasted vegetables, some of which are quite alien to some of you. Being from Rostov, Mikey, you know that the Rostov diet is a large majority starches and meats because it doesn't have a great growing season there. So
potatoes and vodka.
Yeah. So this is quite elaborate at the number of vegetables that are here for you to sample, including some that seem to be somewhat exotic. There is a kind of blue fruit that seems to be from somewhere tropical that has been finely sliced and poached in some sort of cream sauce. There is a delicious steak, it seems, or a chicken option, depending on what you folks are in for.
Should I sleight of hand to see how well I'm eating tonight?
Yeah, roll me a performance or a sleight of hand check or a deception check.
I am equally bad at all of them, so let's see how this goes.
Perfect.
Also, if my phone could actually work so that I could roll something, that would be great.
I mean, worst case, we can go super 80s. How is it in the 80s, Pat? The DM rolls all the things.
18.
You add the numbers?
I'm actually doing a pretty good job tonight.
He's muted, but he's making very unhappy faces with me. Which
No, not saying anything, just reacting.
I'm just making faces.
Yeah.
I maybe be biased by Harmon's stupid show. I don't know. Fuck you, Dan Harmon, for biasing me. Fairly easily, you managed to make most of the spot checks that folks kind of glance your way. You can tell that certain people
definitely eating through the bottom of my mask that has a little hatch in it somehow.
There's a number of folks that seem to have closer eyes on you than you would think. So Prince Jazar, for obvious reasons. Lord Sunset's kind of trying to get a read on you, and also seems to be trying to get a read on Lyodin as well as Tizzy. As Lord Sunset doesn't know the three of you as well as the other members of the party.
He doesn't know me.
There is also a woman that joins you tonight next to Lord Sunset that is wearing that barn owl mask and flowing robes. You folks would remember her announced as Amelia Cutts, and she would be the emissary of the Owl Clan.
What do we know about the Owl Clan again?
Assassins. Assassins for hire by whoever has the most money. Also, one of them was after me or us or something. Right. And Sassafras brought them to us in mental chains.
Gotcha.
Yep. You know, at least one Owl Clan assassin was after you for some reason.
For some reason. Maybe Scaligog related.
Possibly. Kind of don't feel like he would spend that kind of money on us.
Yeah.
Feel like it's more of a Shadow Covenant thing.
Probably.
I think Lydon's doing his best to help out Mikey's ruse, not entirely on purpose, but just because although he is eating, every time he goes to drink his alcohol, he does the thing that he was doing at the bar that one time where he brings it up and pretends to drink
to the mask.
But it brings it up to the mask so he can't actually drink it. Yeah.
There are two people at this table with masks on, not taking them off during dinner and not really eating.
Yeah. Seems good.
Totally normal. Normal
there is
adventures.
like the entirety of dinner. Maggie Masters is every like move. It's like obviously coming from her. There's little stinks here and there. Her glass tips over.
Perfect. Can you roll me a sleight of hand or a performance check, please? Because I assume some of these will be mental and some of these will be
prestidigitation.
Yes.
And the rest is my mage hand, which no one can see because I can sit like this and command it telepathically. Performance. Damn, 4 months. It's my DM's fault for taking away my stats with that stupid card. So then I took that feat that lets me push people.
Thus,
Great
the
song.
player DM relationship
Good song.
where you
Oh, wait, did
antagonize
I-
each other to make good
Beautiful song.
stories.
Did I roll disadvantage? What happened there? Sorry, I might have rolled wrong.
I'll take disadvantage. Great.
I was busy. Oh no. Yeah, 9. Performance check a 9.
Ooh.
Okay. So yeah, she gives you a kind of a glare once in a while after about the first, half of dinner.
I will like as she glares right at me, I'm like, I don't know what you ate, but it's rude and stinky.
And she
You
is
should-
being spurned by a number of the nobles at her table.
You should get that looked after, along with like the other things you were talking about,
Roll an intimidation check with advantage for me, please.
Oh,
intimidation check with
Sassy
advantage.
Thorny strikes again.
That's not what I rolled. I rolled a 6.
Sassy is gonna make somebody cry again.
22. It's weird.
You do see her quail, and she looks quite pale, even through her kind of makeup that is designed to make her look more pale. She is not having a good time and realizes kind of she's pissed off someone important. You also catch kind of a weird shame to it because she's never been told no, you can tell. Being a rich girl in a small town.
She gets to be told that twice in one night.
She's gonna.
But Lord Sunset is kind of catching your folks' attention and pauses and goes, so, what is the story behind your new members, Miss Thorne? I'm so curious to catch up.
I'm sure you are. What's in it for me if we tell you?
Mikey drops their fork.
You see
Goes
the
to the
eyes
table to pick it
just
up.
kind of spin. And then Lord Sunset kind of does pass his hand in front of his face. And the majority of you folks at this table see the glamour kind of drop with his hand slightly and then kind of configure itself, showing you a stunted, kind of blunted nose, large horns that come out and kind of curl down. And there are a number of ribbons in blues, dark purples, blacks, very winter motif that have kind of been strung along the ends of them. But when he moves his hand back, the tiefling horns are back there, kind of curled above his head. Seems to be this. So, for those of you who don't know me, I will introduce myself. I am Lord Sunset of the Winter Court. I met the Briarwood Brave before they were the Briarwood Brave. Back, what was it? When you had lost your way and stumbled on to one of my recruitment drives.
Might be revisionist history, but we very specifically stumbled right in. We didn't stumble. We just kind of walked over there and said hello.
You walked in playing a jaunty tune, no less. I quite enjoyed your presence.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
And I'm curious as to what's transpired with you. I'm just making gentle conversation. You have thus far not called me for my offer of dinner. I'm heartbroken. Heartbroken.
Yeah, I know. Coming up on the weird side of a deal sometimes is, ooh, it gets you. It gets you. I don't know. We've just been doing some stuff and some things. Amelia? I'm going to point it out.
Amelia has, you've noticed, been staring straight ahead for the past 5 to 10 minutes.
Like at us or just like?
Straight off into
Okay.
like space behind Cassidy's head
Yeah.
somewhere.
It's not
up a
creepy.
bit.
Yeah.
That's good.
For example, Amelia, I'm pretty sure like one of your, are they your clan? Are they your employees? Are they I don't know. Anyways, one of the Owl Clan people tried to kill us or was sent to kill. I don't even know if they were sent to kill us. I don't really understand what happened, but like that happened. That got taken care of.
You see Lord Sunset kind of twirl his hand and then snap. And Amelia blinks and goes, what? He goes, Do you kill
Oh.
people? Do your people kill people? Is that what you do here on this plane? Do you just murder each other? And you see Amelia kind of blink, and she goes, I don't know what you're talking about. We are merely a reclusive clan. And
Yep.
you
Sure.
seems to like leave it at that. And then Lord Sensor
Do-
kind of goes
Do I believe her?
and snaps again. Roll me an insight check, please.
Zone of truth.
Bam!
Roll with a normal roll. 24.
Ooh.
You cannot tell. She is very, very stone-faced, and the voice was very measured. Even if it wasn't for the spell or effect or ability that Lord Sunset planted on her, she is already fairly airy and doesn't seem to have much substance that you can nail down.
She's kind of like us, but not really like us. She didn't really answer your question. She just said we're a reclusive clan, but that was what the question is. So she didn't really give you an answer.
Lord Sunset has snapped again, by the way, and she is looking at Cassidy, but kind of like through Cassidy.
Is there a similar effect on Commissar Brokov and the members?
You eye over, and you do
Yeah.
notice they are also kind of staring off into space.
Weird.
Did this start when
They
when
seem to be
the sunset
fine.
set
Like they're
down,
breathing.
or-
They're not, harmed by anything, but they seem to almost just be
Fairy
like lost in
magic.
thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yarmed.
Hans
Oh,
here.
Mr.
Did he say
Sunset.
magic? Who knows?
Some people say that you could be charming. A wink.
Oh, Miss Thorne, I've heard you are equally as charming.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm just kind of doing stuff. So what's up? You're here, but you're sitting with the summer court? And
Well,
your
it's-
dragon friend is like, banging my
I
friends, or
know.
my friends are banging her. I don't really know. Is that what I don't really?
Well, I can say that originally none of us were going to be here, and then we heard one certain Fae was going to be in attendance, and it perked all our interests. I requested to be our presence at this event in case the mortal plane of existence seems interesting. And you see the eyes kind of linger on the paladin for a second,
Yeah, I'll lean over and be like,
a soft
Oh.
smile on his lips.
Lyodin, they're not from here, and they might have gone through a door that they weren't supposed to, and it's hard to tell what they're up to.
Oh, I am very well aware of this.
Okay, sometimes I don't know.
I have been keeping track of them since they came here, because when I, did my little divine senses, I could tell that they were Fae, and
Do you have a problem with Fae? Is it Lyodin? Is that what?
it is. I don't think we were properly introduced.
I assure you, I mean no harm to your plane. Your people are so interesting. At first, I thought they were just ants, but then I saw how Cassidy moved through them with such grace and force. And I thought, well, maybe these mortals have some worth in them.
And
That
is
was like
precisely why
A
we
very
don't
obvious
like
yawn from
you
me.
really barging in here. Lyden just lifts his drink and drinks it through the mask so it pours into his lap, making direct eye contact.
Roll a intimidation or a deception check. Or
I
performance
like that
check.
you are aggressively spilling your drink on yourself.
Pretty
It's
good.
all, it's all
Like,
the
yeah, the
same.
ultimate intimidation is wetting your own pants.
Yes. Correct. Like, I care so little about you, I will wet my own pants.
I mean, that was a
Weirdly-
bit that
That was the
Who
thing that
did it?
happened a lot in undergrad. There was a girl on our soft team, and that was her thing. And she would just get up and rage pee her own pants.
Adam Sandler hired a guy to do it for the Oscars or something, like live,
Wow.
just for the hell
Wow.
of it. So what'd you
Okay.
roll, Lyden?
Oh, that's an 18 in intimidation.
Ooh.
You see Lord Sunset kind of like blink once and lean forward and go, "You are a Adorable. I like you. Are you watching Cassidy then? Is that how this works?
Oh, right now I'm protecting. Less watching, more protecting right now.
Interesting. From what I've heard, you only ever kill us Fae when we wander across into your plane of existence. Why would you be protecting Cassidy Thorne?
I didn't say who I was protecting.
Please. A paladin of your god that doesn't want us getting in. Who else? Unless there's another Fae under that mask, and points over at Mikey.
Oh, no, I'm definitely not a Fae. I'm sure you'd be able to tell that, wouldn't you?
I was more posturing. I know what you are.
Okay.
So,
Well-
by the way, just everything they say, don't take it at face value. It's always,
Yeah,
they're always looking for information, so just don't.
I've been trying to like do.
You having
some
this conversation in front of Lord
Yes.
Sunset?
Yeah, I
Correct.
lean over to Cassidy. I've been trying to like do some like Cassidy-isms where I'm like, oh, that's not exactly what I said and stuff. Am I doing okay? Am I doing it?
You're doing well, actually,
I
believe
know.
it or not.
They're working really hard.
I can tell that Cassidy has trained you well. You should be proud of yourself.
I'm sorry, this was a private conversation.
Yes.
Just
Oh.
smiles demurely at you. You see twirling something, playing with something attached to a horn that is not there, just with the air.
There is a instantaneous, harmless sensory effect of snapping fingers from Lion's sick burn.
And then Lord Sunset takes a bow, and a round of applause erupts around the table that nobody outside this table seems to notice, react to. It's quite odd. Well, these gods of this plane sure do like the Briarwood Brave, and I'm curious as to why. I expect great things from you, Miss Thorne. Should you ever want a place in the Winter Court, I know someone that can put in a good word.
Yeah, me.
You're gorgeable.
I know.
Stands
If you
up,
do
takes a
need
bow.
messages sent from one to the other, though, I do know someone who's pretty good at perching herself on a fence, being friends with everybody, but beholden to none of them. Also me.
Oh, you do have a way with words, Miss Thorne. I bid you a lovely night. Should you see anyone interesting, send them my way, won't you? I am trying to pick apart these mortals for all the little nuances, and it's such fun to learn.
That one over there, I'm going to point at Maggie Masters. She kind of stinks a little bit right now, but she is, let me see if I get it right,
No.
thirsty? I think she's thirsty.
Why does she
Like she's
drink some
making all
water?
kinds
then?
of
That's what I
gestures.
said. I don't understand it. Maybe you could offer her a drink.
Mortals. Maybe I will. It'll be the first drink I've offered to a mortal in almost 200 years. And the last one was poison. And you see, he stands up and strides away.
Oh no.
Mikey immediately takes out a pen and starts scribbling something down on a piece of paper, and then like tacks it to Pico, and Pico runs over to Maggie Masters.
Okay. What does it have written on it?
It's like, do not drink anything this man gives you.
Okay. Are you specifying which man?
It's a
Yeah,
little stick
I'll-
figure drawing.
It's like a stick figure drawing of that guy.
Man with horns.
Like with tiefling
Yes.
horns.
Yeah, do not.
Perfect. So Maggie kind of looks over at you and then looks at Cassidy, untrusting, and then kind of like you watch as she crumples it up and like throws it at her plate. Seeming
Bounces
untrusting
off
of
her
this
plate.
message.
And whaps her in the face.
Yeah, he full on just decks her in the nose, and you see her go,
Yeah.
and she just glares at Cassidy.
Ooh, Cassidy, I get that she was a little rude, but maybe sicking a Feylord on her is going a little too far.
I didn't sick a Paylord on her. She's thirsty
mean-
and aggressive. She's thirsty and aggressive. He's not going to do anything to her. They might. I don't know. It's up to
Maybe.
her. She's an adult.
Maybe.
She can make her own decisions. Like when she
Maybe
decided to
they'll
be
get
super
along.
rude, barge into our room, and then not learn her lesson and bang on our door and threaten me. So, you know.
This happens to Cassie a lot. Everyone wants to see the Fae and touch the Fae, and
Yeah, there you go. Boom.
What do you
The-
what do you think this Lord Sunset's interest is in our plane?
In this plane? I don't know. Curiosity.
Boredom?
Yeah. Fun. It's not so different. I mean, some of the things that we have learned about balancing of goods and bads, and everyone's like, oh no, it's the same thing, it's just in a different pile. The winter court aren't bad and the summer court aren't good. They're just the winter court and the summer court. This is a knife. I hold up a knife, I assume. A spoon. Like,
There's a
this is a knife.
oh, this is a knife.
This is a knife. Is it good or bad? Or is it just a knife?
One could argue the same of countries.
So if
One
it's
could
a
argue the
tool,
same of everything.
the point that you're trying to make about good and bad is that they are tools that we use.
No, I don't know. Maybe. But they're just not, people get really hung up on them.
I mean, theoretically,
They're excuses people use, I would say.
yeah, a morally good choice is always good, and a morally evil choice is always evil. It is the person that is the tool in this scenario who can make the good or bad choices.
Well, true, but also if we really want to get like all deep and into it, who's deciding on the morality of good and evil? Who says that this is the right thing? I don't know.
Birds.
I'm not saying I'm gonna like go kill babies. I'm just saying I don't really particularly care if there's someone somewhere doing that, unless I'm there to maybe talk to them about it, but I'm not. So I'm not gonna worry about it. Same with whatever Lord Sunset decides to do. He could decide to do nothing. He was gonna do whatever he was gonna do. Maggie can fuck right off anyways. You hear that, Maggie? Fuck right off, Maggie.
You
I'm
see her
making Maggie
actually
face again.
stand up and move a table away, as if that will stop this.
Yeah.
She like makes kind of polite introductions at the new table, which is
Yep.
a number of nobles and military folk, and kind of just scooches in.
I mean, theoretically, one would say that the gods are the ones that make up good and evil, but I've always been more of the Rostovian philosophy that it is the common man who decides what is morally good for the most and what would harm communities or others.
Everything is for the greater good. Yeah. And this is,
I mean, it should be.
Ambassador Chechen kind of
It's
chiming
like
in.
coming back to the conversation.
Yeah, they
Right.
seem to have totally missed whatever happened previously and are kind of tuning in.
Everything should strive to be for the better good, because otherwise, if you don't have the support of your common man, everything falls apart. You cannot rise except all together.
There is no good or evil. And this is from the kind of wafy Amelia Cutts character. Those don't exist.
Mhm.
But
That's a different philosophy, certainly.
killing babies is bad.
Oh, yes.
So that is evil. An evil act. It's morally reprehensible.
You do what you must. The means should always justify the ends.
I can't imagine, and I hope never to have to imagine, a scenario in which killing babies is a good thing.
As if
suppose-
regicides have never happened.
I suppose if there was a plague, and by sacrificing a few individuals, you could save the greater amount, that might be morally feasible, but it still wouldn't be good. It's not the ideal choice.
Belle's just gonna pick up her wine glass and go.
As we debate philosophy over dinner.
No, you're
Does
doing it
Rostov
wrong.
need someone and turns like full on the mask, the barn owl mask turns sideways. Is there a need for someone to be removed?
It's funny you should ask that, because apparently someone is trying to remove one of us, and they've contracted, so I understand, someone who has decided to say they represent your clan? Are you trying to kill one of us tonight? Or ever?
No,
I mean, not tonight, I'm sure. This is a
Tomorrow?
civilized event.
I certainly have the propensity to kill, but I am not assigned to you. No,
Do you know if there's someone assigned to us?
I
Are you
can't
allowed to
speak
say?
of clan contracts.
That's true.
Are you assigned
Uh,
to somebody else?
Not currently, no.
Does
Weird,
she seem to be
but-
telling the truth?
Roll me an insight check.
Can I jump on
Zone
that
of
too?
truth. Zone of truth.
Zone of truth.
Let's see if
It's a
I get that.
17.
14.
Lyden's been avoiding it because last time
Hard to tell. Just so airy. Doesn't seem like there's much substance. Almost like she's been raised a very, very specific way to give these sorts of answers.
Dirt
From-
so hard that you can't tell if there's a person in there.
She's from the Red Room.
You also notice that this person is not an Aarakocra.
I remember she was like human.
I believe so, yes.
Yeah.
I'll have to go back and check. She's one of the favored four.
So what brings you to this table this evening? Other than obviously a free seat and wanting to have dinner and all those silly things. Like why'd you want to join us? What's up?
I was intrigued by the open spot next to the good ambassador and the commissar.
What was intriguing about it?
They're interesting people from an interesting land.
It's true.
One that we could always have more friends in.
Oh, okay. Cool story.
You're
All right.
friends with this one, and gestures to Michaelius. What
Me?
is Rostov like? Is asking Michaelius directly.
Mm. Oh, I mean, it's other than the obvious answer, which is very, very cold. It's got comforts that you wouldn't expect that aren't present in Ghastheim, such as running water in most of the buildings, adequate sanitation, a moderate amount of healthcare.
I understand. And the people are happy.
I mean, it is in the Rostovian nature to be somewhat taciturn, so I wouldn't necessarily say that everyone's going through the streets skipping with glee, but certainly it does seem to be the best arrangement for the largest number of people.
We are people of the land. And this is the commissar kind of speaking, and he goes, we do what we must to survive, to keep everyone happy. And kind of leaves it at that. So you folks kind of continue this philosophical discussion for a while, I assume. And about halfway through kind of an hour of eating, all the plates are starting to be cleared by wait staff. And good old Reggie Fist steps onto the stage, taking kind of a spotlight position. Claps his hands a couple of times. People bubble down to silence. My friends, I have an announcement for you all. I would like to announce that tomorrow, during the arena, you will see one of my inventions in action.
Did you make it?
And I did.
When?
That's classified. And he looks over directly and locks eyes with, you notice, the Kaiser, who does kind of give a nod. And several of the military folks you catch in the periphery of that also are nodding. And he goes, however,
Cool.
it could be exactly what this country needs in stabilizing the wall and pushing back these slaver scum from the south. So, when you're watching tomorrow, keep that in mind for our fundraiser silent auction later in the week. We'll be auctioning all number of antiques from all across Ghastheim. The families of the North have contributed a number of items from their private collections, both the Templetons as well as the Smithsons. And I do say some of them might even look fine on your mantelpiece, and looks at seemingly a random noble and kind of points, smiles. The person kind of titters a bit. People kind of lean in. Enjoy the entertainment tonight. Tomorrow night we'll be graced by the incredible vocals of Sassafras, who I see is not currently with us, but I hope we'll see later in the evening. Enjoy yourselves. The bar is open. And kind of takes a bow. There's a ringing of glasses as he kind of leaves the stage. And
There's like
the
a
first
drunk
act
mom at a
comes
wedding
on.
cheer at a Cassidy. Yeah, crushing it. Not drunk, not a mom.
Yeah,
but-
yeah.
You are officially a
this is
woo girl.
Welcome to the crowd. The first act seems to be some sort of kind of comedy act. It's a small gnomish man that seems to be running through the gamut of jokes, joking about the royalty and the nobles in a way that they can kind of get away with. The second act within the next couple hours is the jester of the Kaiser, Horatio, is doing a set. Seems to be mostly tumbling, juggling, quite simple kind of entertainments, but goes for a good hour. Is there anyone you are hoping to have a chat with, etc., during these performances? Most people are
probably-
getting quite deep in their cups fairly early, so the laughs are getting louder and louder as the night progresses.
If Fremora is here,
Yeah.
Cheers.
Lydon does ask Cassidy to prestidigitate the spill drink.
oh yeah,
The aggression,
Aggressively spilled
self-pour.
drink.
yeah, you got it. First, I warm
It's
it
like-
up.
Oh,
Just like
Like a
it's okay. I can
bat.
do 3 at once.
Yeah, Mikey's
Okay,
also
if you
keeping
land.
half an eye out for Prince Jazar and the Dragonborn he was talking to.
At one point, you notice that the ambassador kind of is whisked away by a noble of Ghastheim and goes, and then Burkhoff and Chechen are soon gone, and then finally Amelia Cutts excuses herself, kind of gets up, and you see she moves over to the table with Gustav Slaw and Tarfeather, who are the behemoth hunting expedition companies, and seems to get into a conversation with them. However, Prince Jazar takes that opportunity and kind of is waving on these two Dragonborn when they do leave, about halfway through Horatio's act, to come over to you. And he
Interesting.
kind of pauses at the table. I have to click on a thing. Sorry, I gotta find their names and their specific clans because it matters. There we go. So he pauses and he goes, "The Briarwood Brave, this is Scribe Neferannon of the Silver and Scribe Lavaranon of the Copper, representing Baroness and Garganta." And kind of
Mikey will actually stand up and bow to them both.
they bow back, seemingly kind of unperturbed.
A pleasure to meet you both. I am Mikey
Did you make the
Gogo,
symbol of the eye?
of the Briarwood Brave. These are my companions. This is Cassidy Thorne, Val, and Paladin Lyodin. Pleasure to meet you.
It is very good to meet you. We have heard much of this new heroes guild party that has unique members, even in Garganta. And this is Lavaranon of the Copper speaking. And kind of bows.
Indeed, I'm very sorry to say that I know very little about Garganta itself, despite being a Dragonborn. I was raised in Rostov.
Yet you are metallic, not chromatic.
Oh, how do they know that? Because I am covered head to toe.
You are covered head to toe. Are your
Yeah.
scales as well and your hands covered by gloves?
Probably, because my hands are pretty
Okay.
bony.
So then you actually will notice that Neferannon of the Silver will pause and go, "What is your coloration?"
Oh, is that important? I'm brass.
Yes, did your family move to
Uh,
Rostov?
I've never really met those who laid me. My family are citizens of Rostov, a gnome and a dwarf.
We understand. Our
Forgive me, I
people
don't speak
do
Draconic.
scatter.
Yes.
And they are struggling with common, which is why they seem to be slow, plodding. You go, oh, you speak Draconic, and immediately like flips to Draconic. Like,
oh, no, I don't. Sorry. After he says a few words, and I'm like, nope.
And Jazar steps in Draconic and pauses and goes, no, they're naturalized to Ghastheim. They have a citizenship here. Seems to have an exchange back and forth with them about a minute long, kind of explaining something. They're nodding kind of sagely. Jazar is kind of leading them through this conversation. You can assume it's explaining kind of how it works here in Ghastheim.
Mikey, if you want, I can just translate for you.
Oh, can you?
They can understand me. Yeah,
you speak Draconic?
I speak whatever needs to be spoken.
Oh, of course, right.
I believe Calista also has comprehend languages.
Universal speech.
Nice.
Comprehend languages?
Sorry?
Comprehend languages?
As an action, no. Universal speech. Eloquence. 5 creatures within 60 feet. The chosen creatures can magically understand me regardless of the language I speak for 1 hour.
Ooh.
Okay, so you're going to continue kind of translating for Michaelius here.
Which will catch them a little off guard. They just understand me. Like I'm speaking, you're speaking common, I'm speaking common, but they're hearing whatever they need to hear to understand it.
Right.
Yes. And Cassie is making, fairly shorthand, I assume, of a lot of these complex topics. Basically, they're kind of allowing you to ask whatever you would like, Michaelius. They seem to be calm, slow, deliberate. The mannerisms are much different than Ghastheim. Everything is in a slower pace, it seems.
I'll start off just sort of asking them about what the land of Garganta is like, having not known about, but knowing that's where the Dragonborn are from, right? Or where they mostly reside.
That is where the metallic clans reside. There are some chromatic clans that have joined us and renounced their evil ways, but I believe the local clans to Ghastheim are the blue and the white, not assigned or aligned with Burrownest. It is dry. It is much different. Desert, scrubland, badlands, and of course the terrible war-torn north where Burgo and Garganta work to fight back the warlords of the neutral territories from the east and south. As well, we have a great number of issues with the grand creatures that migrate, hunt across the wastelands to the north. It is good that we have the Kingdom of Flowers to help us.
Are these creatures like the I forget the name of the Titans up in the north?
Different, but similar. Many are carnivorous.
Fascinating.
Unlike, they are herbivores here, no?
Mostly, yes.
And this is all going through Casty, kind of,
Yeah.
so it takes quite a bit. So,
what else would you like to know? I am curious. Have you
Oh,
not been told? What would you like to know?
And they're studying you quite intently.
I came across some words in Draconic that I don't know the meaning of in some of my research. But I noticed that your name were Lav Aranon, and I pronounced it really badly.
Of the copper.
And directs to comrade.
Neferanon of the silver.
Neferanon. Do you know what the word Aranon means?
There's a kind of shocked silence, and they turn to each other and,
Excuse us. One moment.
and they
Why?
stand up and they go over to the bar, do not order a drink, have a conversation.
I just look at Cesar, I'm like, hope I didn't offend them. Like, look at Cassidy and shrug.
They come back
Is it a
after
bad
about
word?
a good.
Is it a bad word, Cassidy?
No, I mean they can understand. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know.
When I say it, is it a swear?
It's kind of a one-way thing. They can understand
Oh.
me.
Sorry.
Yeah.
They come back. I'm like, I'm sorry if I said something bad. I didn't mean to offend you. I don't know what that word means.
They come back and go, it is a clan name. We do not speak often of the gold.
Oh, the golden. Interesting.
They are, well, we do not speak of them.
And there's an awkward kind of pause and silence.
No offense is taken, but we will not answer questions of this nature.
Good. Excellent. Sorry. Well.
And there seems to be some sort of cultural taboo that you're missing that Cassidy is getting the gist of. And Prince
I will-
Jazar kind of pauses and he goes, oh, 1 second, my friends. And kind of Michaelius offers his hand out to you,
I'll take it.
kind of leads you away. Again, over to the bar, and then actually kind of like looking over his shoulder takes you further and goes,
The gold have been without an heir for a very long time. It is a couple of decades now, and there has been no viable egg produced. They are speaking of having the silver take over the head of the council of the clans. It is
I can see that it's a touchy topic for them.
It is. The war here, as well as the worsening situation up north for them. It is a very, very turbulent time for Garganta.
So
If they
these
did not have the
names,
Kingdom of Flowers to defend them and help them, I do not know what they would do.
So the names that they have, is that their personal name, or is that the name of the clan that they belong to?
The clan name. They do not use first names unless it is quite comfortable.
Oh, really? Oh, interesting. Huh.
So I would advise that you do not offend them by speaking of delicate political manners at an event such as this.
and he kind of gestures to a number of the nobles. And then kind of gestures for you to return to the table, hoping that he's helped. You can tell that he's like desperate to impress you or at least help you in any way he can.
Good.
You guys return.
I'll,
It has been lovely meeting you, Briarwood Brave. Sorry.
Pauses, kind of realizes the commoner version of the word, stumbles over it a bit.
Have a lovely evening.
thank you very much for agreeing to answer my questions, for all the knowledge you've been able to impart.
Of course. Good luck on the path.
And they stand up and leave. As they go, can I get one of you to roll me a D100, please?
Who's gonna do it?
Who wants to? I don't know how to do it.
Let's just all roll, and whoever's comes out first.
Or let's see if I can find
I
it.
don't know how to do it on roll 20. Oh, no, here we go.
63.
There we go.
So there is a bump from under the table as Tizzy seems to flail around, lose her footing, hit something, and then refills all of her expelled spell slots she possesses.
Which are
You're
none,
welcome,
so
Maggie.
good.
Yeah.
Good.
And you know what else happens?
We go to bed.
The end times. Hey!
I would
We got
right
there.
before the end times, we go, this was a great dinner. I'll see you all in the morning. I'm going to go get a good night's sleep.
There's nothing of major import aside from meetings and stuff or people you want to bed for the sake of this. So
Nope.
if you folks are going to go to bed and move on to day 3,
Go
you can
to
totally do
bed.
that and level up.
Day 3 level
Awesome.
up. Boom.
Yes. Level up.
All right.
Long rest.
That brings us to the end times. These guys are going to level up for the arena fights tomorrow. And we are going to have 1.5 minutes each to go over our shout outs, plugs, show bits, dumb comedy bits, local businesses we want to support, yada, yada, yada. We're all adults. You guys do what you want with it. We're going to go in our normal order and just skip the people that are not here. So first up is the awesome Alina. Pew, pew, pew.
Hey, everybody. I am Alina Pete. I play Michaelius Gogol. We both are they, them. This week, I am going to shout out the many streams I'm doing this weekend. So on Saturday, I will be doing Trash Heroes, which is a really ridiculous, silly 5e let's actual play where we are heroes are who crawled out of a literal trash heap and are now not trying to save the world, just trying to get by. It's a lot of fun. Everyone on the cast is a webcomic artist. So you can join me, Jeff Jocks, Danielle Corsetto, Sam Logan's not there this week, sorry, Peter Chakowski, and Randy Mulholland this Saturday at twitch.tv/WhereGeekComics at 3 p.m. Pacific time, 6 p.m. Eastern time. And then on Sunday, Maggie and I will be doing our Let Me Tell You About My Character, which is our D&D art stream, where Maggie randomly generates ridiculous 5e characters and I draw the resulting weirdos. Check it out. It's a lot of fun. We always spend about the whole hour laughing because we are dumb and we come up with dumb things. It's kick stab. So that should be fun. It'll be this Sunday on this channel at 1 p.m. PST, 3 p.m. Eastern. I will now pass it on to Amanda, and my birds are losing their minds, so I will mute.
Hello, I am Amanda. I play Val. Both of us use she, her pronouns. Today I don't have anything in particular to shout out, so I'm just going to thank Maggie and Quinn for running our social media, which you can find at Something5E and at Wicked and Fun Co. I also really want to thank Izzy for being our Patreon guru and otherwise helmsperson of our ship of madness.
CEO and chair mistress.
Yes, and I would also like to shout out Rooftop for just generally being awesome and keeping things running smoothly in the background, in the front ground, and again, just being our lurking
extraordinaire.
lurking ninja who makes things work right. So that's it for me today. I will pass it along to the delightful Quinn.
That's me. I'm Quinn. I use she, they pronouns. Leiden uses all pronouns. Come check out The Worst Days every Tuesday at 7:30 Central Standard Time, 8:30 Eastern Time. That's what, 5:30 Pacific Time. Yeah, that's how math works. We had our very first session of our new campaign last night. Super excited. We spent 2 weeks doing character creation. So definitely go back and watch those because this is like a brand new ttrpg that eventually our DM Josh is going to try and like get that out for people to see. And it also is just a great way for if you're new to any kind of RPG to see some really great ways to build characters and to have those established relationships going in. So check that out. It's at twitch.tv/theworstdays. That's it for me. So we're gonna pop on over to Pat.
Hello, I'm Patrick. I'm he, him. I play Cassie Thorne, who is a whole bunch of things, but generally a sheeger. Not too much. I'm just going to give a shout out to a super cool company called Scuzzles. It's actually my cousin's company, but they don't need any help. They do custom short short run posters of like video games and old movies and stuff. I will post it there. They've got like a Golden Axe one that's super dope. They've got, man, I don't like, they sell out very fast. The Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure one was cool. Yeah, you can go on and have a look. And yeah, that's about it for me. That was quick and easy. Oh, you can follow me on Twitter if you want to see me tweet twice a week at PWC Higgins. And that's me. Goodbye. Bye.
Perfect segue. Hello, I am McCrae Rates. You can find me at McCrae Rates on Twitter. I am on there way too much, and McCraerates.com, where you can read shit and be literate and stuff. That's my hope. I would like to thank Pippa Andrew for our theme song, Mike, aka Grok, our lovely podcast editor, Alina for our intro video, and Amanda for shouting everyone else out so I don't have to. Thank you, Amanda. Woo! I use any pronoun. My shout out this week is going to be the brewery because we got our poop pushed in by Gruger on Monday with Big Dumb Is It and hello Burb. And unfortunately I have to wait a whole week to try and beat them again with my whole one win on this show. So watch us 7 p.m. the same channel, twitch.tv/something5e. It's a magic show. It's good times. I'm going to end us off with a lovely quote this week, as I usually do. I've been going to song lyrics more than literary ones as I'm running out.
Quickly before you do.
Interrupted.
Go.
Yeah.
Go for it.
I want to be all hype mode for our subscribers, such as Gophersaurus, who I see there, Meta Geeky. And I think I can check the other one. Nope, it's going to ask me to be cheery and stuff like that, which I don't necessarily do as such. And to all the D&D nerds that I know, the super friends, thank you for sticking with us and subscribing. Mage Hand Finger Guns all day long. We have made more emotes. I don't know really how and when we get to unlock more of them, but stick around and maybe you'll get some, like a friendship or an Eye of Metanus or a Cassidy Thon or everyone else.
Sticker around.
Sticker around.
Sticker around.
I'll give you inspiration for that, Quinn, at the last second. Someone tried the shitty pun. I love it.
Okay, now you can do your quote.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, folks. I don't check the chat, so one of you guys will have to do the shout out each week. I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want. So tell me what you want, what you really, really want. I want to really, really, really want. Because if you want to be a lover, you got to get with my friends. Make it last forever because friendship, it never ends. If you want to be my lover, you've got to give. Taking is too easy, but that's the way it is.
I'm sorry to our subscribers.
We will see you next Wednesday, 6 p.m. PST. We'll have our missing members back. I will make a note that we will be dark on August 11th because I will be going to a wedding. So we will be live in and around that August 11th.
I might be on the internet at night. We'll see.
You guys should do a one shot while I'm away. 100%. Take the time slot. Do the things. All right. I will see you folks next Wednesday, 6 p.m. right here. PST. Twitch.tv/something5e. Bye.
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 Bye.